friends, how are you? Come in and grab a seat. Welcome to the stream. Grab a snack and fetch a drink. Don't mind the chat,
They're crazy.
unhinged at their best. Can I offer you a cookie? No, I'll put it with the rest. Hey, I'm glad you made it. Come on in and don't be shy. Don't worry about the grip or love. Don't pay the chat no mind. You're here to see the content. You're here to watch the show. You're bored already. Wait, you simply need to know. Chase game's good, the name's a scam. Can't aim, can't clutch, can barely stand. A streamer boy through and through. Honestly, bro's kinda cringe, dude. Can you pass the sniff test? Do you even dare to try? Do you want to watch a 30-year-old man who streams games cry? Do you want to drop a follow? Do you want to gift a sub? Join the Discord now and don't be a scrub. For real, dude. You're here to see the content. You're here to watch the show. You're bored already. Wait, you simply need to know. Yeah, Chase game's good. The name's a scam. Can't aim, can't clutch, can barely stand. A streamer boy through and through. Honestly, bro's kinda cringe, dude. Okay, well, this song is almost over. OMG, he's still not on the screen? This guy. Okay, well, let's run it back one more time and waste more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, really? He's still not here? Kinda cringe, to be honest. Old, man, shaking my head. I really thought, okay, I think he's coming now. Yeah, okay. See ya? Unless it plays again. If that happens, then I'll be right back. Okay, yep. Bye! Hey there, friends, how are you? Come in and grab a seat. Welcome to the stream. Grab a snack and fetch a drink. Don't mind the chat,
They're crazy.
unhinged at their best. Can I offer you a cookie? No, I'll put it with the rest. Hey, I'm glad you made it. Come on in and don't be shy. Don't worry about the grip or love. Don't pay the chat no mind. You're here to see the content. You're here to watch the show. You're bored already. Wait, you simply need to know. Chase game's good, the name's a scam. Can't aim, can't clutch, can barely stand. A streamer boy through and through. Honestly, bro's kinda cringe, dude. Can you pass the sniff test? Do you even dare to try? Do you want to watch a 30-year-old man who streams games cry? Do you want to drop a follow? Do you want to gift a sub? Join the Discord now and don't be a scrub. For real, dude. You're here to see the content. You're here to watch the show. You're bored already. Wait, you simply need to know. Yeah, Chase game's good. The name's a scam. Can't aim, can't clutch, can barely stand. A streamer boy through and through. Honestly, bro's kinda cringe, dude. Okay, well, this song is almost over. OMG, he's still not on the screen? This guy. Okay, well, let's run it back one more time and waste more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, really? He's still not here? Kinda cringe, to be honest. Old, man, shaking my head. I really thought, okay, I think he's coming now. Yeah, okay. See ya? Unless it plays again. If that happens, then I'll be right back. Okay, yep. Bye!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Chase. Better known online as Chase Games Good. I don't think this is my normal stream. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, is it time? All right. Oh, welcome in, you motherfuckers. Hope you're having a great day, because today, Testiculus has graced you with his presence. Yes, I am back. Hippity boppity boop on your ass. Hippity boppity boop. So, welcome in, welcome in. How is everyone? Thank you so much for your offerings of your cookies. I appreciate it. Blasted Comb and Rampage. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, very kind. Well, how are you doing since our last time we spoke? Would have been about a week ago, Yes. So, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick and update your chart on his plane of existence. Blasted Comb, you are at 48, and Mr. Rampage is at 47. Oh, almost there, buddy. Almost there. Well, yes, welcome everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're having excellent days today. Now, before we begin, we need to sort some business out. Let me consult the book. Got my pen. Where's it at? Oh, shit. Right, let me consult with the book. Now, where we last left off. So, I have noted who is here and who is not. If you're not here, you're dead to me. All right, perfect. So, don't get what's coming to you, let me tell you. Right, perfect. So, before we begin, I do like to do a little recap of what was missed from the last time. From the last time we did this. So, we'll do a quick little recap of what happened in chapter 3? Well, chapters 1 through 3, I suppose. We're really chugging along at this point. So, we'll go ahead and do that now. Let me pull this up real quick. I wrote it down, and I forgot where I put it. Hold on. Where the fuck is this? Jeez. I should have made this its own little separate thing. To find it. That's a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. A little embarrassing. Alright, well. Fuck it, we ball. Where did it go? Damn it. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Here's chapter this. Here's chapter that. Okay! Found it. Wrote it right here. Couldn't figure out where it was. But again, we ball. You know what? Actually, we're gonna wait a little bit. Wait for some people to come in, talk, yap for a little bit before we really get into it.
Not.
How is everyone doing? Oh, Mr. Rampage is nutting in my ear, I see. Just like old Uncle Ben used to do. Welcome in. Oh, yes. Should we get a quick update on that Chase guy? Let's get a quick update. Hold on. Close your eyes, everyone. We're going back to the boys. Oh, not that. Hold on. Give me a second. This guy. Unbelievable. Alright, close your eyes. Think about what's going on. Alright, I see him. He thinks he's streaming still. Like an absolute nerd. Always playing music.
Alright, this song really means a lot to me, so here goes.
Oh, fuck that. We don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear that. What an absolute loser. Bro, we don't want to hear that shit. Ukulele? This guy, what is he, a 2012 YouTuber? Get out of here. Well, welcome in again. Appreciate it. We are going to be reading Ascension chapter 4. I guess it'd be chapter, not part. Look at my hat. You see what happened to my hat? It's supposed to be like this, right? It's supposed to be like that, but it keeps flapping all flaccid, kind of like Uncle Ben, you know? It's just not a good time, not a good time. Alright, well, quickly, we'll go through what happened through chapters 1 through chapters 3, and I'm sure we'll have to repeat it as people come in, but that is alright. Again, in the words of the great LeBron James, fuck it, we ball. So, chapters 1 through 3 of Ascension. It takes place in the land of Zundara, in the city of Valesport. And here, it is a story about Torin Mudvayne, who was born in the Necronic Quarter of Valesport, where Shadowborn elves like her serve and suffer and survive in silence. Her world is one of cold hearths, cracked walls, obedience passed down like an inheritance. She is quiet, careful, taught from birth that survival means staying small and being unseen. But one day, at the edge of a rain-slicked creek, he meets a strange girl, Kira, and a Kenny noble, bright-eyed and fire-haired, a girl who shouldn't be kind to her, but is. Together, they build a secret world beneath the branches, make-believe, laughter, games, and a single password whispered between them. Petrichor. Smell of rain. Well, the smell of earth after, really. But that doesn't last, because things that are good never do. Kira disappears. No warning. No goodbye. And over the weeks that follow, Torin returns alone, until eventually that hope rots away. In Chapter 3, years pass. We jump forward a decade. No goodbyes were given. She becomes a quiet pillar in her family, holding her home together as her mother breaks under the weight of labor, and her father drifts further into his silence. Then, the announcement. The manor has requested a new live-in servant, and Torin is chosen. Not for honor, not for reward, though she is told it is a gift. And, she basically leaves her house, and, her parents, tell her goodbye, and it's pretty sad, you know? So, that's basically what happens. So, yeah. Shouldn't have gotten your hat at the Wizardly Discount Store. Listen, Goodwill has a great many things on a good sale. I look like a shark right now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Da-da. 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 Yeah. You thought that was Jaws? Oh, shit. You thought that was Jaws, but it was me. It was me. Let me put that back up. There we go. Again, welcome in, everyone. I appreciate you being here. It's funny, the music in the background, it is very, it's extremely quiet for me. I hope it's quiet for you as well. And occasionally it cuts out randomly. I'm not really sure what's going on. The row's full. They really don't have their shit together here. I don't know why I keep coming here, honestly. It's really the only place in town that allows me to be here. I'm not allowed even near most of the other bars. They don't believe that I'm allowed to share my gospels there. They call it madness, and I call it... I call it goblin. Goblin these nuts, dude. Alright, so... You know, I'll probably get kicked out because they have all these goblin bartenders and stuff, and I make that joke at them, and then they get mad at me, and I cast them into oblivion, and it's a whole thing. So, that could very well be what it is. Well, again, welcome in, everyone. Real quick, let's get a quick update on that man. Let's close it again. We don't need to see that again. Hold on. Let's see. Where's he at? Oh, I think he thinks he's looking at the Chucky chart right now. All right, let's take a look at it.
All right, let's check the Chucky chart. Look at all these points everyone's getting. Lots of points. Points. Good.
I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about him. Well, yes, welcome. Welcome again. Thank you very much, everybody. So. Oh, Heavy Hobgoblin! Welcome! How are you doing today, my friend? You are just in time to hear the tales. The tales from the Rose Full, not the Pink Pony Club, mind you. Thank you very much. Let me update your numbers. You're up to 2! Daily Chucky Chickens. I appreciate it. Shall we? Hold on. Hey, Chase! Make sure you update the chart, okay? All right, hold on. Let's look back at him again.
Alright, this song really means a lot to me, so here goes.
Oh, I didn't need to see that. That's bullshit, dude. Bullshit. Fuck that song. Alright, yes, well, welcome. Alright, hold on. Who's not here? That's the real question. Because whoever's not here, you're going on the list, and you are going to... Oh, brother, you are in for it. Hold on. We've got Heavy Hobgoblins here. Hey, Testiculus, where did you go to wizard school? Your mother's house. Nada. Alright, let me go ahead and... Alright, so we've got Blasted Comb is here. Welcome in, Blasted Comb. Heavy Hobgoblin, welcome in. And Mr. Rampage is here. Though he's kind of being a little shit already, but hey, that's just how he is. So, we'll go ahead and write him in the good way. I think I saw you in Elden Ring. Perhaps. Perhaps I do make a few cameos. You'd probably know me as Testiculus Torsius, the Destroyer, Conqueror of Worlds, and owner of most of the known universe. That's probably where you saw me. I was also in Game of Thrones, so, you know, there's that. There is, let me summon the creatures here. Summoning everyone into here right now. Thank you. Great. Whoever's not here, wet socks forever. And, they're going to have sticky hands. And, actually, hold on. I have a good spell for them. Ready? Bippity boppity boop! Perfect. Right. Everyone there was just calling you Testy. Yeah? My nickname. I'm Mr. Testy to you. So... like that. I did kind of fuck up this week. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I definitely fucked up. I didn't give you any images to look at while we're telling the story. The real problem. So I'm just gonna have to kind of wing it on that shit. And you know, fuck it, we evolve, as they say. So hold on, let me here. Let me put this here. Oh Jesus. Yeah, good enough. How do I make this it like this? Ah, yes. Oh, look! And let me add a little background to it. And let's put this like this. Perfect. Alright, here we go. Fantastic. So, do you know how to use Canva? Yes, I do. I'm rather good. Rather good at Canva. I would say on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'm at least 11 or 12, you know. Some say I invented it, you know, so take a pick. I would say I'm relatively adept at it. Where is my super suit? Yes, I know that reference as well. You think I don't, but I do. Anyway, here's a little thing I made. Hold on, let me see. Here's my display capture. You don't need to see all that necessarily. Hold on. Let me just... That. Oh. Well, actually, here. That. Right, perfect. So, here's where a lot of the story is going to take place at. This, my friends, is Valesport Manor. Not Valesport Manor, Stormbane Manor. Jesus Christ. I'm saying the wrong things. I'm too flustered. Anyway, it's got a nice golden gate. It sits on the top of a cliff. Right on the edge, looking over the water, you can see here. Real nice place. But this is where a lot of a story is going to take place going forward. So, keep that in mind. Because I forgot, again, to make that into a little portal for you. So, that's where this is going to take place this time. Well, really, it's going to be the walk to that place and then the first interactions in the place. I also will tell you, right now, the story does have some mature themes, so viewer discretion is advised. There is going to be a scene that is not, insane by any means, but it is, it's a little, it can get a little tough for some people. So, heads up. I will pin the message in the chat for you, so you can read through that and see what kind of things may be discussed in the story written by the one and only Chase Writes Good. Alright, let me... back here. What's your favorite Pixar movie? My favorite Pixar movie? Well, I try not to dabble in the affairs of mortals too often. But if I had to choose one... I think it would probably be The Incredibles, because they are the only mortals in all of existence who could even get remotely close to my power. It makes me feel good. Though, A Bug's Life is also a really good one, because the bugs remind me of Mandibre, and they're pretty cool, and they have this very socialist message, and socialism is the way of the future. That's what I say. So, yeah, here we go. Thank you, yes. Now, strange, Chase's followers just dropped by like 10 people. That's crazy. Anyway, this chapter is called The House Owns Me. Yes, The House That Owns Me. It's a, you know the wizard from Harry Potter? Well, there's a lot of wizards from Harry Potter. There's Harry Potter. There's Hermione. There's Ron. There's Voldemort. Though they're so scared of him, and honestly, I could probably take that guy in a 1v1. Very easily, I think. I think I could, his little Avada Kedavra! I think I could easily, testicular torsion him into submission in about less than 30 minutes. Easy. Kidney Stonius, he'd be crying to his mother. And, I think I could take him pretty easily. Oh, thank you! Thank you, Hobgoblin. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Yes. You don't know if you believe that. Hold on. Bowser, you know what? You're going in the book. You're going in the book, motherfucker. You're dead. Death Note, Chapter 1. TTV Bowser, LOL, testicular torsion, explosion, explosive diarrhea. You're dead, kid. Get good. Now. Alright. So. We are locked in. I love how much my cat looks like a shark fin. I really... Hold on. I want to do this again. Let me see if I can do this better this time. Hold on. Alright, ready? Da-da. 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 Da-da-da-da-da. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Well... Normally, I have something to show you guys with, portals and shit. I forgot to do it this time. Here's a little one from last week to give you a little idea of what the story that Chase is writing is about. It takes place in the land of Zundara, a world of his creation, a world where I'm from. That's actually where I'm at right now. Surprisingly, you wouldn't believe it, I know, but this is where I'm at. And, here, we'll give you a little portal into that world. Ready? Close your eyes, and we're going to will it into existence. Boom! There it is! There's Valesport, the city of Valesport. There's the little Stormbane Manor, it's called, right there. And over there, that's where, oh shit, hold on. Right there is where, our main character Torin lives. And you're like, oh, who's Torin? Oh, well, close your eyes for a moment, and I will show you. Ready? We're gonna go to the Void. Here's the Void. Are you ready? Here's the Void. Now. What the fuck is going on in chat? Jesus Christ. Now. Here is Torin. Right now. Here's how she looks. There is Torin, our main character. All grown up. Hardened by life. There was this scene last week, too, where she, was saying goodbye to her sister. It's not her sister, her mother. She's looking in the mirror, and she saw her mother in the mirror. And she's like, oh shit, am I already halfway to being my mom? Oh, damn. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, you are. And then, and then this one is her saying goodbye to her parents to leave her way to the manor. It's kind of dark. I don't know why the lighting is so dark. I tried to brighten it. I couldn't tell you why. It's always overcast in this city. And anyway. By the way, her name, for those who don't know, the story of Torin, the character of Torin, she is a death goddess in the world of Zundara. She is the goddess of death, the empress of the dead. Many of you know her, shivering in the night, afraid to speak her name. To her people, she is a savior. To the rest of the world, she's a monster. And this story is all about her rise to power and what caused her to break and what caused her to become the goddess of death. From slave girl to death. Oh, thank you for the cookie. I appreciate it. Thank you for the hydrate as well, Blasted Comb. I'm going to drink out of my father's skull. Yes, this is my father. Say hello, Dad. He's dead. He's dead. He can't talk. He died saving the universe. I took his skull and I made it into a cup. Good ogre piss right there. Now. So yeah, that's basically the TLDR of the story. Why don't you have horns like him? Those aren't horns. That's his mustache. It just grew kind of weird, alright? He was very self-conscious of this. You can see I obviously gained his lovely beard, his lovely physique. You can see the resemblance, honestly. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me take off this off. Ready? You see it, right? It's uncanny. Oh, God. Hold on. My head is getting a little hot. Hold on. Whew. Gotta air the dome out a little bit. God damn. The fire. Oh shit, the fire's over here. The fire. Right there. Real toasty. Alright. Gotta just air it out a little bit. Alright. Whew. Alright, we're locked in. Oh shit, I forgot to put on my headphones. No, let me put this back on. Hold on. Oh shit. Now I look like a monk. Oh, dude. So bald, so shiny. That's what I said about your mother. Hold on. No. Is that what he wanted to be done with his skull? Yes, it is. He actually told me. He said, Testiculus, when I die, I want you to take my head, hollow it out, carve out my brains, and then make a nice cup out of it. And I said, get away from me, father. I don't like you. And then, well, here we are. Fuck you, Dad. No. We are going to begin shortly. I appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with me while I yap for a little bit. I'm quite a good yapper. So, I have this potion here, right? Let me tell you about this potion. You know what I had to do to get this potion? There was this guy, an ogre. I think his name was Shrock, or Shrink. He had this little this little, like, baby horse with him or something. And this ogre woman was with him. And he was like, hey, you're in my swamp. And I was like, fuck you, ogre. And then he was like, oh, well, you know, I don't appreciate that. And yeah, he looked just like that. Holy shit. You guys know him? Anyway, he gave me a special sauce in this vial, so, you know, saving that for later. That goes for a lot on the black market. Scaredy Pie, welcome in. Hope stream goes well. I'm not Chase, but yes. Thank you, the stream is going well. Thank you very much for dropping a lurk. I appreciate it very, very much, my friend. So again, let's quickly go over... Oh, where did it go? Hold on. Where is the goddamn thing? Where did I write it? I lost it again. You know, I'm the keeper of lore for this world. I'm the wizard of lore. And I keep losing shit all the time. I really don't know how I keep this job. My boss is just a total dick. And he's like, hey, you need to work more overtime. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, fuck you. And I'm like, well, what are we gonna do, Chief? I'm immortal. So, basically, that's it. Now, a quick recap again. For those unfamiliar with what's happened in chapters 1 through 3, we've read every week on Wednesdays. We come together and I read you lore created by our Lord and Savior, Chase Writes Good, as he writes the stories for you in this world he has created. The mystical world of Sundara. So this story is called Ascension. It's a story of the Death Goddess. So quickly, we're going to run through the recap and then we'll go ahead and get started with the story. So, the beginning is about a girl who would become the Empress of the Dead. Before she became a goddess, she was but a shadow. A girl named Torin Mudvayne, born in the Necroni Quarter in the port city of Veilsport, where the walls rot, the sea stinks, and the gods are long forgotten. She was a child of silence, of obedience. Her people wore iron bracelets like jewelry and called it tradition. They said it meant they were to be chosen, but even the chosen come to kneel. In chapter 1, Thorin meets a girl, Kira, a fiery-haired highborn, wrapped in kindness. They built a secret world beneath the trees, a fortress of whispers and laughter. They skipped stones and swapped stories, sharing the secret place, the secret word of their fortress, Petrichor. The smell after the rain, the scent of something broken and beautiful. In chapter 2, though, that world fell apart. Kira disappears without warning, and the silence Thorin once wielded like armor begins to rust. She returns to the creek week after week, still hoping, still waiting, but the gods do not grant such mercy to girls like her. One day she returns to the fort, and it's just a bush. The bracelets they shared turn brittle and snap. In chapter 3, the years have hollowed her into a woman. Oh, thank you very much, Rami! Welcome in, Rami. You're late, but I will forgive you. I will forgive you. We're doing a quick recap of chapters 1 through 3, Rami, and then we're going to get in to the story today. Where was I? In chapter 3, the years have hollowed Thorin out into a creature of habit. Her hands are calloused, her voice is quiet, and when her mother is crippled by her labors, she's dismissed by the manor. Thorin is chosen as her replacement, as a live-in replacement. She is told it's a kindness, a gift, a roof over her head, a bed to sleep in. But she knows better. She walks toward the manor the next morning, not as a servant, but as a sacrifice. This is not the story of a girl who was saved. This is the story of a girl who was broken, and what rose in its place. So again, welcome in, welcome in. No curses today? Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Father, tell me, will we have curses today? He says you're fucked, kid. Oh, real quick, before we begin, Remy, let's get a quick word from our lovely creator of this world, of this plane of existence. Chase Games Good. Hey, Chase, let's check on him. Everyone close your eyes for a moment. We're going to, we're gonna go ahead and summon him. Ready? Right, we're in the void. All right, let's get a quick, look here of what's going to happen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Chase. Better known online as Chase Games Good. I don't think this is my normal stream. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, is it done? All right. Oh, hell yeah, brother! That was the beginning of the stream! That was a backwards thing, but still! All right, hold on. Let's check up on him again. Hold on, one more second. All these Chookies, hold on. Let's see if he's updated the Chookie chart.
All right, let's check the Chookie chart. Look at all these points everyone's getting. Lots of points.
I don't think he's doing well.
Good.
Interesting. I don't think he's doing too well. We'll check back in later. We'll check back in later. Welcome in, Bria. Yes, you've made it. You're here. Why did he stare at you? I don't know. Listen, I have no idea why that guy does. He's a fucking weirdo, dude. He's a weirdo. What can I say? Now, I will say, I kind of fucked up because I was playing, not me, Chase was playing Oblivion yesterday, and he forgot to do some stuff. So, some of my portals are going to be a little jank today, alright? But I'll show you what I can. Hold on. So, there's really only one picture, so just keep this in your mind for now, and we'll jump into it. This is where everything's going to take place pretty much today. This is the manor that she is going to, our character Torin. The Manor of Stormbane. Well, Stormbane Manor is what it's actually called. But yes, Stormbane Manor, up on the cliff side. It's perched up there. And this is mainly where it's going to be. Alright, these are my portals. So, listen, I forgot to make a bunch of them. So, fuck it, we bow. In the words of my Lord and Savior, LeBron James, fuck it, we bow. Alright, now, we did the recap of the story. We've checked up on Chase. He doesn't seem like he's okay. We'll check up on him later, though. And then, yeah, I guess let's get into it. So, again, quick reminder, make sure to check the pinned comment in chat, because there will be some escalations today in subject matter. It's not going to be anything crazy. I've read this a million times already. It's nothing too crazy. Just know there is going to be some stuff. Once she gets into the manor, it does get a little bit heavier, alright? So everyone, just keep that in mind. If you are uncomfortable at any given time, feel free to leave. I will not hold that against you. I will not cast a curse upon you. Now, with that being said, we will lock in. And so we will begin Chapter 4 of Ascension. Chapter 4. The house that owns me. Now, I believe I did read a little bit of this to you guys last week, so it should seem a little bit familiar, but, again, we'll get to it. This chapter is the longest of all of the chapters so far, so this one will go a little bit. I'll stop every once in a while to, to do some recap, to talk about it, all that sort of stuff. Feel free to put your comments in the chat as I'm reading, all your reactions, all that shit. Yeah, it'll be good. Now, let us continue. Chapter 4. The house that owns me. The streets glistened with last night's rain. The scent of damp earth rose from the muddy pathways. Mossy, metallic, faintly sweet, familiar. She moved in silence, the mist clinging to her shoulders like a shroud. Around her, the Necronic corridor still slept. Shadows of memories lingered in every corner. She passed. familiar shapes she couldn't afford to follow. Sorry, the music really just threw me off. It cut in my ear out of nowhere. That really freaked me out. Alright, sorry. Locked in. Locked in. Shadows of memories lingered in every corner she passed. Familiar shapes she couldn't afford to follow. Warped fences leaned under the weight of time, their exhaustion a common sight in the quarter. Windows cracked and sagging beneath crooked shutters, blurred by the dim light of dawn. So, quick reminder, in the previous chapter, she literally just left her home, left her family for the first time, and she's headed toward the manor. The air was thick with soot, brine, and the slow rot of salt-warped wood, clinging to every surface like a second skin. She continued her steady pace forward, past each sagging doorframe, over every waterlogged step, and across the makeshift stone pavers that had been long since swallowed by the mud. Her boots sank with every step, the road thick and uneven beneath her. Ash and straw mingled in the muck, softening her footfalls but leaving her boots heavy. These were paths carved not by design, but repetition. Centuries of the same walk, made by tired legs and low-hanging eyes. Her mother had made this very trek day after day for years, through rain, wind, and blistering heat, always with the promise of returning home at the end of each day. A promise Orin did not have. Finally, she reached the edge of the Necroni Quarter, taking a brief moment before crossing its threshold. The mud there thinned. The earth became firm beneath her. Moss-flicked stones appeared under her boots, uneven, cracked but solid. The smell of mildew gave way to the salty air and the faint tang of iron and fish from the harbor nearby. She passed the lower markets where wooden stalls stood, silent and shuttered. Tarps hung limp, gently floating in the breeze. The scent of fish lingered, faded but persistent, layered with spice and damp rope. The ground held its own unspoken history, stones worn smooth by ceaseless pummeling of shoes and bent into submission by the endless roll of wheels. It wasn't beautiful, but it was dependable, honest in its wear. Let me pull something up real quick here. I just realized I don't have the chat pulled up here. Alright, there we go. Locked in. Alright. Where were we? Yes. It wasn't beautiful, but it was dependable, honest in its wear. Beyond the stalls, the harbor shimmered, where sails bloomed like petals across the bay, and fog laced the docked ships like gauze. The shoreline hugged the cliff's base, waves slapping gently at it, but even the serenity here felt muted, like the city itself was holding its breath, unwilling to speak of what loomed above it. The road curved again, and with it began to steadily climb, not just upward, but along the spine of the cliff itself. Cobblestones, perfectly placed, sculpted and clean, set in precise lines by hands that likely never walked them. There were no cracks here, no moss, no irregularities, just dry, even stone, ascending like a polished serpent cutting through the earth. The path didn't feel walked, it felt arranged. Hold on, here we go. It felt arranged. For show. Too clean. Too deliberate. The houses that lined the ascent grew taller, straighter, rigid with their posture. Their whitewashed walls trimmed with gold. Vines grew where they were told to. The air smelled of citrus oil and clipped grasses. Every bush was manicured, every flower symmetrical. And still, the manor watched her approach. Remember the manor? Hold on, should we pull up the manor again? Quick manor check. Hey, manor check. Can we get a manor check? Oh, hold on. Manor check. Hold on. Don't click on that. All right. Manor check. Manor check. All right, there it is. All right, there's the manor check. All right. We're checking on it. We're good. There's the manor check. So the manor is watching her as if it's its own character in this story, right? Now then, you could see it from anywhere in Valesport, from the furthest alleys of the Necronic Quarter to the deepest edges of the harbor. Its pale towers pierced the horizon like judgment given form. Not just a house, but a monument, a sentinel, a reminder. Now, it was no longer just a far-off silhouette. It was a wall, a presence, immense and inescapable. After a long climb, she reached the crest of the path. And there it stood in full. Stormbane Manor. She had seen it her whole life, from the alleys of her quarter, through the cracks in the walls, even in the reflections caught in puddles after a downpour. It was always there, watching from its perch above the city, like a judgment no one could ever speak aloud. But up close, it was different. More than imposing, more than enormous. It swallowed the horizon. Its spires felt taller, sharper. Its windows once gleaming orbs in the distance, now stared back at her like stained glass eyes. There was no softness in its marble, only cold, clean perfection, made to dazzle. Beauty weaponized. It didn't feel like something built. It felt placed, like the gods had dropped it from the heavens, fully formed, untouched by time or weather, a monument. A golden fence wrapped around the manor like a crown. Oh, cheap viewers! Interesting. Cheap viewers, yes. Well, listen, I am a cheap bitch, but I don't need your viewers, thank you. Now then, back to it. A gold fence wrapped around the manor like a crown. Thick bars adorned with thorny flowers. They caught the rising sunlight like blades, casting long, narrow shadows across the polished path. Thorin slowed. It was beautiful. Oh, you don't see it, Rami. I realize you don't see it. On my side, it was restricted because it's a bot. It's a viewer bot, and so it automatically gets restricted from chat. But it's someone trying to sell me cheap viewers, basically. Yeah. So anyway, back to it. Yes, I realize out of context that probably made no sense. My apologies. I'm not going crazy. Hey, real quick, chase check. Let's get a chase check. Hold on. All right, what's he doing?
Alright, this song really means a lot to me, so here goes.
No, fuck that shit. Well, we don't need to hear that shit. What the fuck? This guy and his songs. This guy and his fucking songs, dude. Unbelievable. We don't need to hear his songs. Crazy. Oh, then. Oh, you're happy about the songs? Yeah, this guy and his songs, dude. Unbelievable. Yeah. I'm writing that down. Notated. Hey, do it. Hold on. Bippity boppity. Band. There you go. With a ukulele. What is this, 2021? For real? Jason Mraz looking ass? And, I mean, yeah, 2012. That's, I read it as 2020. I knew what you meant. Listen. Same mind. I get it. Now then. Back to what we were doing. We were describing the manor. Yes. A golden fence wrapped around the manor like a crown, thick bars adorned with thorny flowers. They caught the rising sunlight like blades, casting long, narrow shadows across the polished path. Thorin slowed. It was beautiful. painfully so. Her eyes moved across the sculpted hedges, the pristine courtyards, the gleaming gates. This was more than a home. This was a display. Power, wearing the mask of a home. It didn't feel safe, not exactly, but it didn't look cruel. And that, maybe, was enough. A brief moment of hope intruded her mind. Maybe Ma was right. Maybe the food would be plentiful and warm, the beds clean. Maybe it would be better. Not free, but better. She turned, looking over her shoulder at the city, now sprawling out before her. The cliffside revealed all of the salt-bitten city below it. Its slanted rooftops, its crooked alleys, the slow coil of rising smoke as the city began to awaken. And there, cradled in the lower districts, was the Necroni Quarter. From here, it looked small, fragile, like a place trying to hold itself together. Her home, her family, everything she's ever known. And still, it felt so far away. Not in distance, no, but in reach. Whatever lay ahead, she had to face it alone. She turned back toward the manor, stepping slowly toward the gates. 2 guards stood at either side, both a Kenny, still as statues in pale golden mail. One leaned slightly on a spear, the other with his arms crossed over his chest. Neither made a sound as she approached. Just before she reached the entrance, the one with the spear shifted. His eyes flicked over her, not in threat, just in observation, like checking off a list. "Griselda's girl," he muttered. "You've got her eyes." Torin opened her mouth to speak, but he didn't wait for a reply. With a sharp rap of his spear's butt against the golden bars, the gate groaned open. "Western Wing," he said, nodding to his right. "Find the stewardess Meyer Bloom. She'll tell you where to go." Torin blinked, lips parted still, but the gate was already opening, gold bars parting with a slow metallic sigh. The guards stepped back without another glance, already resuming his watch, as if she were no more remarkable than a delivery cart. She stepped forward. The courtyard swallowed her in silence. "Ah, poor girlie, yes, Torin, she's been through it, man, and she's going to continue going through it. Listen, how do you make a poor slave girl into a goddess? You put her through some shit, you know? That's the arc, baby, that's the arc. That's why she's, a goddess. She goes through some shit. So, listen, she's the queen. She's the queen of the dead, the queen of her people, a goddess. So, this is just how it is. Reckoning will happen. Maybe, we'll see. But it'll take a while to get there. Now then, let us continue." The courtyard swallowed her in silence. Intricate stone paths wound the sculpted gardens, too manicured to feel real. Hedges trimmed into perfect boxes, trees with branches pulled inward, like they'd been told how far they were allowed to reach. A fountain gurgled quietly in the center, water spilling over the carved marble lilies into a basin so clear she could see her own reflection in it. Tired eyes, tightening mouth, and faded purple ribbon pulling taut against her skull. Everything was impossibly perfect, impossibly clean. Sounds like a place that Chase's wife would love to be, honestly. Perfectly clean, perfectly symmetrical. That sounds like her dream. I've been through some shit. Why aren't I a goddess? JK, I'd be a goddess of mental illness. I dub thee. Bippity boppity boop. You are crazy. Here you go. You're welcome, goddess of crazy. Alright, back to it. Oh, I just blessed all of you. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hell yeah. I would be happy if I was her, lol JK. A wand? What do you mean? This is my normal wand. Every wizard has a wand. Yes? This is my wand. Okay. Hold on. I got another one around here somewhere. Give me a second. Where's it? This is a hat. Oh, you can't see it because green. This is a hat from a leprechaun I killed. Here's my other. Here. Look, these were off of a love demon's head. These are the horns of a love demon. Took those, you know. Let's see. This was the head of a falcon I killed. It had see-through eyes. This is actually a skull. You see, it hangs back here. Oh, this is a falcon's skull. Oh, here. Here's my other wand. Right, we got this wand, this wand. Are you gonna make fun of me for my wands? Are you gonna make fun of me? So. Shut. Put this away. You know Galinda? Yes, she's my second cousin twice removed. One in both hands, yes. This is how I cast spells. I go, oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead. Oh, Legos when you wake up in the morning. And you step on them. Oh, stub pinky toe. Wet socks, wet socks, wet socks, wet socks, wet socks. No, get good scrubs. What can I say? Whew. For a dark story, I really be fucking around a lot, huh? Listen, we're all here to have fun. This is how we do. Oh, Remy, hold on. You're here. You showed up. Say soggy socks. Soggy socks 3 times fast. Soggy sock, soggy sock, soggy sock. Here you go. Can't fool me. Now then. Oh, this? Hold on. You wanna know what this is? I don't know it. This is the ass of a centaur. See? It's a centaur's ass. And this? Well, listen, this. You don't want to know what that is. Alright, anyway, back to it. Where's the other one? Hold on. Got this bad boy. This bad boy. Listen, you see this here? I got this bad boy from, a demon I met back on the plains of nowhere. This. Remy, I'm taking you off the list. You showed up consistently. You're off the list. No more, wet socks for you. Hold on. There you go. Bria, you also showed up consistently. You are off the list. Thank you. Till you mess up again, I will be watching though. This will be right here. Now then, let us get back to it. Yes, I hope you learned your lesson. Hope you learned your lesson with the wet socks. Because they will come back in a heartbeat. Your socks are still soggy. Sounds like a you problem then. Oh, Leo Pixendix, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you very much, Mr. Pixendix. I appreciate that. Yes, sucks to suck. Rami, you get it. You're learning the wizard ways. Alright, now then, let us continue our story. So, Torn has looked over the city, she saw her whole life, and she was like, damn, bro, my whole life is down there. That's crazy. It feels so far away. And, not like in distance, because she literally just walked there one morning. It's not in distance that it's far away, it's like in reach. She realizes, damn, I'm probably never gonna go back there again. Like, I'm never gonna go back. This sucks. Fuck. So that's basically, and then she goes up to the gate, and the guards are like, hey, standing there, all official and shit, and then she's like, hey, what's up? She goes to say something, and they don't even, they're like, ah, fuck you, we know who you are, go inside, go to the west wing of the house, and then, you know, go see Stewardess Meyerblum. That's what her name is, Stewardess Meyerblum. You guys are gonna really love that pitch. Let me tell you. So, hold on, my beard is going the wrong way. All right, we're good. What up, Leo Pixendix? Welcome in. Now then, everyone is wonderful now that you're here, Mr. Pixendix. So you can sit here and listen to the tale. Thor and Mudvayne, your rise to godhood. Now, let us continue. Oh no, it's Testiculus. Get banned. You're banned. Get banned. And in this one, you know what? This is the Soggy Sock Annihilator 3000. And guess what? You have soggy socks now. Soggy socks. Hold your tongue and repeat, I was born on a pirate ship. Do you think I was born yesterday? Do you think I am a fool? You are trying to get me to say I was born on a pirate ship, and it's going to sound like I was born on a pirate's shit. I was there. You cannot recite the dark magic. I was there when it was written. Now then, let us proceed. Light work, no drink? God damn. I bet you didn't drink out of your father's skull, though. Like that. Now then, let us continue. Where were we? Oh, yes. Everything... She's talking about the manor, so Torin has finally made it to Stormbane Manor. Where it is impossibly clean, everything is exactly where it needs to be, as if the trees themselves were told only to grow so high, as if the bushes were told, hey bitch, you can only be this tall, or else you will die. Now then, let us continue the story. Everything was impossibly perfect, impossibly clean. She walked where she was told, boots making soft scuffs on the path that felt too loud for the tranquil silence of this place. As she turned toward the western wing, the manor rose on either side of her, its vast walls pressing in, windows like 100 glass eyes watching her as she passed. Then she saw her, standing just beyond a covered archway. A woman waited with arms folded and posture poised, like she'd been carved from stillness. Her frame was lean and long-limbed, her skin the shade of weathered bronze, braided hair coiled like roots at the crown of her head, threaded with thin copper wire. Not a Kenny, no. She was wild-born, Isentari. Now pause for a moment real quick. For those of you who need a quick world, some lore reminders, again, the class system in this world, at this time period, is there's 3 classes of elves. There's the golden-skinned Kenny elves. They're the nobles, the leaders of this world, the magic wielders. Then there's the Isentari elves, the wild elves, the ones who live in the woods and hunt and things of that nature. They're more nature-attuned. And then the lowliest of them all is the shadow elves, the Necroni elves. They are dark purple, kind of amethyst-skinned elves who worship the shadow gods, things like that. So anyway, back to it. This new character, this woman waiting with folded arms, and poised posture. Not a Kenny, wild-born, Isentari. Another servant, but different. Elevated. Torin slowed without meaning to. She'd seen Isentari before, not often, and always at a distance, usually hauling game through the market under their master's sharp eyes. But never this close, never one like this. There was something unnerving in her stillness. Not cold exactly, just watchful, measured. She didn't waste movements unless it served a purpose.
Her uniform was immaculate, gray linen pressed to sharp angles, her belt gleaming faintly at the buckle. Not a wrinkle, not a thread out of place. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. Her eyes, dark green and distant, drifted over Torin, tracing from ribbon to her boots, before settling briefly on the iron bands at her wrists. "You're late," she said, at last. What a way to fucking enter, right? She's just like all sassy and shit, and she just goes, "You're late." What a bitch, dude. Anyway, "You're late," she said, at last. Her voice was quiet, flat, not harsh, but polished. Like something well rehearsed. The sun had barely crested over the rooftops. The woman turned slowly, her gaze locked to Torin like a hook. She hummed, as if she'd just tasted something sour. "I'd heard your coin were better trained." Let me redo that line. "I'd heard your kind were better trained." Torin stiffened. The woman's eyes swept her again, this time not as observation, but appraisal. "A shame," she said, adjusting a non-existent wrinkle in her uniform. "I'd hoped Griselda passed more than just her grim looks on to you. But I suppose one does what one can, with what one has." Torin said nothing. "I am Stewardess Nisari Meyerbloom," the woman continued, crisp as cut grass. "You'll address me as such, not ma'am, not miss. And certainly never with excuses." She let the silence breathe for a moment, her gaze unwavering. "I oversee every servant within these walls. It is my job to ensure the house runs without flaw, and that none of you become the flaw." A pause. Her voice never rose, but each word landed like a weight. "If you falter, I will know. If you embarrass yourself, or worse, me, gods, you will wish it had only been the Lord who had noticed." She turned on her heel, graceful and silent. "Now follow me, please," she said over her shoulder. "Let's not begin your new station with a correction already." What a bitch, dude, right? What an absolute bitch. So yeah, that's Nisari Meyerbloom, the stewardess. She's a servant herself, lowly, but she's the head of all the servants. And she is, she really takes her job seriously. Now then, let us continue. Torin obeyed, following closely behind her, head held low, but not too low, just as her mother had instructed. They passed through the archway, the air shifting the moment they stepped inside. The hush of the courtyard, the distant roll of waves, gave way to something colder, cleaner. The floor beneath her boots changed from stone to polished marble. Every sconce, every banister, every pane of glass, everything glimmered. Huge bitch just like you, just kidding, love you, boy. Well, here's the thing. I don't know who your boy is, but you're going in the book for that one. Testiculus does not take jokes. Testiculus delivers jokes. The only joke here is you. So, in the book you go, Leo, Pixindix 77. You will forever every text message you get will only be pics of dicks. Rough, buddy. Real rough. Alright, now then. Let us continue. Oh, actually, hold on, real quick. Would you like to get an update from Chase? Everyone close your eyes before we continue. We're going to get, we're going to go ahead and get, a little view into the world of what Chase is doing. Let's go here. Alright, we're in the void. Are you ready? Are you ready to see what he's doing right now? I believe he thinks that the Chucky chart needs to be updated. Hold on, let's see. Alright, let's check the Chucky chart. At all these points everyone's getting. Lots of points.
I don't think he's doing well.
Points. Good. Interesting. Interesting.
He's not doing well. He's not doing well. Yikes. Big yikes. Big yikes. Anyway. Hopefully he is okay. Next time he's probably gonna be in hell or something. Yikes, brother. No, that's him most of the time? Oh, real. Real, dude. Real. Alright, let us continue with the story. So, Torin obeyed, following closely by... Oh, we already got to this. We already did this. They passed through the archway, the air shifting the moment they stepped inside. The hush of the courtyard, the distant roll of waves, gave way to something colder, cleaner. The floor beneath her boots changed from stone to polished marble, pale and reflective, glinting off the soft morning light like frost. Everything glimmered, every sconce, every banister, every pane of glass. The walls were dressed in cream and gold, intricate carvings etched into the molding like a language no one had spoken in years. It was beautiful, but too perfected. The kind of beauty that didn't breathe. It was curated. A place made to be looked at, not lived in. As they walked, Nasari spoke without turning. "You will find no allowances for tardiness in this house," she said, even-keeled. "You rise when the bell rings, you dress before it tolls a second time, you do not wander, you do not idle, and you do not, under any circumstances, enter another servant's chambers." Torin glanced up, startled. "At night," Nasari continued, "you remain in your room unless summoned. It is better this way, for efficiency." Her voice was smooth as she spoke. Companionship blurs lines. Blurred lines lead to mistakes. And mistakes, she let the words hang in the air, like smoke curling from a snuffed candle. Mistakes are punished severely. "All into your chambers. Brother, you wish. You wish. Little Rampage. That's what they call him. Little Rampage. They say, hey, he's trying to show off again, Little Rampage." And he's like, "Oh no, look at him, Rampage. Oh, I'm so intimidating." And I'm like, "Bitch, you thought you were intimidating." Alright, he wants some wizard booty. Who doesn't? Look at me, I'm saying. Alright, let's just continue. By the way, again, real quick, let me put this command in here just to make sure everyone is on the same page with this. There are going to be a scene coming up here in a second. It's not super graphic or anything, but just know that there is some stuff that is explored and talked about. So just keep this in mind. Going forward, this is your trigger warning. If it gets too crazy for you, feel free to leave. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Now then, let me straighten my beard. So I'm going to redo that line again, and then we will continue. "At night," Nasari continued, "you will remain in your room unless summoned. It is better this way, for efficiency." Her voice was smooth as she spoke. "Companionship blurs lines. Blurred lines lead to mistakes. And mistakes..." She paused, letting the words hang in the air like smoke curling from a snuffed candle. "Mistakes are punished. Severely." They turned down a narrow corridor. The halls were simpler, still polished, still pristine, but less adorned, stripped of any grandeur. A hallway meant for the servants. "You will assist in cleaning, laundering, and meal preparations," she went on. "Tonight, you will serve the evening meal. The Lord and his family dine at sundown. When the bell rings 7 times, you will collect the dishes from the kitchen, set the table before they arrive, and stand ready throughout the course. You do not speak, you do not fumble. You are not here to be seen. Do you understand?" Thorn's chest tightened. Each word settled like a stone in her ribs. "Yes, Stewardess Meyerblum." A faint pause followed. "Good," Nasari said, her voice uniform. "At least you can listen. That already sets you apart from most."
she didn't wait for a reply. She turned down another narrow side hall, her footsteps a whisper on the marble. She gestured sharply to a plain door, tucked beneath a curve in the wall. "Here," she said, pushing it open without ceremony. The room was small, not cramped, but close. A single, narrow bedroom sat against the far wall. Let me redo that line. The room was small, not cramped, but close. A single, narrow bed sat in against a far wall, its thin blanket neatly folded at its foot. A small table with a chipped corner rested beneath a high, narrow window. And beside it, a modest dresser with space for exactly 2 changes of uniform and a handful of accessories. The floors were bare stone, swept clean, the air still and faintly scented of citrus and stone scrub. The window faced outward toward the city, the sloping markets and salt-stained rooftops just below her. From there, Torn could make out the edge of the harbor and just beyond it, the faint lines of her old quarter. The same streets she had walked through that very morning now looked distant, shrunken, unreal. Torn stepped inside slowly, taking in her new surroundings. Nasari didn't follow her in at first. She stood at the threshold, arms crossed, eyes scanning the space like she was inspecting the room for faults. Now again, one more time, just so you're clear. Trigger warning moment, okay? Letting you know, trigger warning moment. Nasari didn't follow her in at first. She stood at the threshold, arms crossed, eyes scanning the space like she was inspecting the room for faults. Then her nose wrinkled. Disrobe. Thorin turned. A mixture of shock and confusion crossing her face. Your clothes, Nasari said flatly. They stink of salt and mud. Strip them off so I may have them burned. Thorin didn't move. Not immediately. She wasn't sure she had heard her right. The stewardess stepped inside at last, letting the door shut behind her with a soft clip. This is not your filthy quarter anymore, she said. You do not drag rotten rags into the Lord's house. Remove them. Thorin's breath pressed behind her ribs. Her fingers hovered near the knot of her apron, her mother's apron. She undid it slowly, then stepped out of it, the faded seams sagging in her hands. Her linens followed next, then her undergarments, until she stood at the center of the room, skin bare, the chill of the marble floor slowly creeping into her bones. She folded her arms tightly over her chest, not out of modesty necessarily, but instinct, a shield of limbs where clothes used to armor her. Nasari stepped forward. She didn't leer, she didn't ogle. Her expression remained impassive, stoic. She circled once, slow and thoughtful, like someone examining livestock before a sale. She made a small sound in the back of her throat, judgmental but restrained. Thin, she mumbled, but not frail. Hands are worn, fingers calloused. That will help. She reached out and tilted Torn's chin with a single knuckle, looked into her eyes as though they were glass. You'll do, she said at last, stepping back. Barely. She reached down and plucked the apron from the pile of clothing. She held it between 2 fingers as if it offended her senses. This, she said, lifting the apron. Second, I realized a grammatical error here. Okay. This, she said, lifting the apron, it reeks. I'll see that it's burned. Thorn lifted her chin, her mouth parting slightly. That was my mother's. Nasari didn't even glance back at her as she made her way toward the door again. And you are not your mother's anymore. You belong to the house. That's like the line. The title of this chapter is called The House That Owns Me. That's the line. That's the roll credits moment. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That was my mother's. Nasari didn't even glance back as she made her way toward the door again. And you are not at your mother's anymore. You belong to the house. She didn't touch the ribbon in Torrens' hair. Maybe she didn't notice. Maybe she didn't care. Either way, it remained. You shall scrub the floors until the 6th bell rings. Then you will go to the kitchen and set up for dinner service. The door clicked shut behind Nasari, not slammed, just closed, firmly. Torrens stood still for a moment. The silence left in the stewardess's wake lingered like a weight. Not heavy, but expectant. The room felt paused, like it was waiting with bated breath, watching to see if she would become what it needed her to be. She looked around. The bed, the chip table, the small dresser. It was all simple, practical, reminded her of her hut. Even the window, narrow and high-set, felt more like a viewing slit gift. A way to watch the world she was no longer a part of. There was no instruction, no clothing handed to her. Just the room, the stillness. She crossed it slowly, opening the bottom drawer of the dresser. Inside, folded with rigid precision, was a uniform. Plain, gray, neatly pressed, stiff and featureless. Not made to flatter, made to fit, made to erase. She took it out with slow hands and stepped into it piece by piece, the fabric foreign against her skin. The collar pinched, the sleeves restricted, the shoes were too tight at the toes, low-heeled, and heavy, designed to straighten the spine and quiet the steps. From the top drawer, she pulled one of the new aprons, unworn, rigid, stark white. It took her 3 tries to tie it correctly. The fabric didn't move like her mother's had. It didn't move like any she had ever known. She smoothed the front of it at once, out of habit, then stilled. Her reflection caught faintly in the polished edge of the dresser's drawer, hair pinned back, ribbon still holding, skin clean, posture straight. She no longer looked like the girl who had left that hut this morning. She stepped out into the corridor, uniform settling against her like a second skin. Not hers, not chosen, but there. Alright, we'll pause right there. Man, that scene. Nasari brings her in, strips her of her clothing, inspects her like she's livestock, and then doesn't give her any further instruction and just goes, you're gonna scrub the floors. See ya. Pretty wild, dude. Pretty wild. Very Handmaid's Tale, if you ask me. Now, let us continue. Across the hall, the storeroom door stood slightly ajar. Inside, a bucket waited, already filled with water and soaps. A cloth folded beside it, placed there with intention. As if someone had known exactly when she would arrive. As if the house had always known. She took them without a word and returned to the corridor. Knelt, dipped the cloth, then she began. She scrubbed. Every tile, every corner, every inch. The morning passed, then the afternoon. Light shifted through the high, narrow windows, first pale and golden, then sharp, then dim again. The hours bled into each other, slow and silent. She scrubbed and scrubbed. Her knees throbbed. Her fingers proved. Her shoulders ached from the repetition. But she didn't stop. Not once. Not even to rest. At some point, a shadow moved at the edge of the hall. Another servant. A young man, Necrani like her. Gray uniform crisp. Arms full of linens. He had paused only a breath when he saw Torrens, but he didn't speak. Didn't smile. Didn't offer her so much as a nod. Just kept walking, silent as the house itself. Torrens watched him pass, clothes still clenched in his hand. Breath caught briefly behind his ribs, and then he kept scrubbing. The echo of his footsteps disappearing quickly. The house, for all its size, seemed to swallow sound as quickly as it swallowed people. And then, at last, a chime rang out. Once, twice, 3 times. She sat back slightly, wiping the sweat from her brow as she continued to listen. 4, 5, 6. That was her cue. It was time for dinner service. She wrung out the cloth, emptied the bucket, and put it back. After, she stood wiping her hands on the hem of her apron. She didn't need to be told twice, but she didn't know where to go. No one had showed her to the kitchens. No one had said how to get there. The manor had consumed her in instruction, but not in direction. She hesitated at the corridor's mouth, glancing left and right. Both hallways looked the same, polished, empty, endless. Every door was closed, every wall too tall. There were no voices, no distant clatter of pans or footsteps to guide her. She picked a direction and moved, fast and careful, keeping her hands folded in front of her like her mother had taught her. She passed corridor after corridor, arch after arch, identical sconces and columns staring back at her like unmoving sentries. Her pace quickened, her breathing hitching. The kitchens had to be somewhere. She turned down another corner, then paused. There, down at the end of the hall, faint but distant, the echo of voices, movement, heat, steam. She followed it, letting the sound guide her, until at last the smell of roasted meats, fresh herbs, and polished silver met her nose. "To me! Welcome in! Welcome in! Welcome to the wizard! Hello! And rectum! Welcome! Hello! Rectum, the champion of the people! I drink out of my father's skull in your name! And Hayes, welcome in, my friends! How are you doing today? I've got this vial here of ogre piss. I've got my book of spells here. All the bad names are written in here. We just be vibing, reading our stories. It's getting kind of dark. Not like physically, like the story is getting kind of dark, but that's what happens when you have a slave girl who turns into a goddess. Shit gets real, and shit goes crazy, and then she becomes a goddess, and it's pretty cool. So, no, we vibing. Welcome in. Oh, real quick, let's see what Chase is doing. Would you like to see how Chase is doing when I'm taking over the stream? I, Testiculus Torsius, take over the stream, and let's take a look. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about where's Chase right now. Let's peer into the void. Wait, hold on. There he is.
Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Chase. Better known online as Chase Games. Good. I don't think this is my normal stream. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, is it time? Alright. Oh shit! And then I'm here now. Hold on, let's check on the Chucky chart. Hold on, give me a sec.
Alright, let's check the Chucky chart. Look at all these points everyone's getting. Lots of points. Points. Good.
I don't think he's okay. I don't think he's okay. I think I'm breaking him. Oh boy. We'll deal with that later. Add that to the to-do list. Hold on. Add that to the to-do list real quick. Hold on, let me... make sure to fix his brain. Alright. It's on the to-do list now. Hit him with some hydration. Oh, yes. Yes, true. I'm calling the police right now. What do you mean? Oh, shit. Oh, Mr. Pix and Dix, thank you for the hydration. I will drink it from my father's skull. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Oh, right here, too. You know this? I met this ogre one time.
I think his name was Shrunk or Shriek. He had this little pony with him. Anyway, I took this from him. You see? You see this? This is exactly what you think it is. This is Shrunk's. Shrunk? He was like, oh, you're in my swamp. And I was like, give me your bits. And then, well, he was like an onion. I peeled off his layers. So, I made it into a keychain. Look at it. Yeah, it's a nice little keychain. See? Shrunk will never be the same. Yes. Where do you think I got the ogre piss from, Oh, god damn, it's hot. Hold on. Need to air out the old dome for a second. Hold on. Whew. Alright, here we go. You look like, I gotta fix my hat. That's what happens when you buy a wizard hat at Goodwill, you know? I love that I look like a shark in this hat, though. Look at what. See? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, shit. Bald person? Where? Where's he at? Where's he at? I'll get you. We'll keep them away from me. Bald people. Unbelievable. Can you believe they want rights? They want rights? Oh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. My eyes too. I don't know where these bald people are, but someone needs to take care of that. Jeez Louise. All right. Let us continue with our descent through Thorin's first day. She just got to the manor. She is a servant girl now. She was inspected by the stewardess of the manor, Nisari. Real bitch, that one. She's a real bitch. Chase really wrote her as a raging bitch. And, you know, that's fun. But we're about to meet a fun new character. A new race, actually, surprisingly. Called the Mandibrae. So, she was struggling to figure out she needed to go pick up dinner, DoorDash it to the Lord, basically. So we're getting to that scene now. So, let us continue. There, down the far end of the hall, faint but distinct, the echo of voices, movement, heat, steam. She followed it, letting the sound guide her, until at last the smell of roasted meats, fresh herbs, and polished silver met her nose. The kitchens. She pushed the doors open with both palms. It swung wide with a low creak, revealing a space that felt more like a forge than a kitchen. Copper pipes snaked around the ceiling like veins, hissing steam into the air. Steel counters gleamed beneath hanging lanterns, each one casting golden pools of light onto a spotless floor. Iron kettles bubbled on blackened stoves. Fire flickered under cast iron grates. The heat hung to her skin like a second layer. And at the center of it all, moving with the fluid precision of something born to the rhythm of this place, was a being unlike any she had ever seen. Thorin froze. The breath left her all at once. What in the god's name is that? The creature tilted its head, not sharply, but gently, like it meant to reassure. Then, without opening its mouth, a voice spoke, soft and clear, as if it had always been there. You are right on time. The words didn't come from it directly. They drifted from an amulet nestled at its collarbone, an orb of obsidian threaded with gold, pulsing faintly with each syllable. Its voice was smooth, layered, and calm. Do not be afraid. I will not bite. That would be highly unprofessional. Torin's jaw parted slightly, but no sound came out. She couldn't move. Her heart thundered against her ribs. The being didn't approach her. It simply resumed its work with fluid grace. I am called Cook, the amulet offered, its voice smooth and neutral. My given name is not one your tongue can speak. I am told this one is more fitting. It plated the roast with delicate precision, garnishing it with a sprig of green so fine it might have cost more than her family could afford in their entire lives. I assume you are the new maid. You've likely never seen my kind before. Your people call us Mandibrae. Torin blinked, nodded, barely. The kitchen, for a moment, the noise of the kitchen dulled. The steam lowered like a lullaby. The fire crackled with a gentleness. Something strange and fragile hovered there, unexpected, uncertain, almost kind. And then, footsteps, sharp and fast. Nisari entered like a blade through silk. She swept into the room with unshaken authority, her eyes clicking. Clicking? That's not the right word. Hold on. Okay, there we go. She swept into the room with unshaken authority, her eyes flicking over to the counters, the floors, the platter cooling in their arranged order. She barely glanced at the Mandibrae. No pause, no recognition of anything extraordinary. Ah, she said, her tone flat. You did manage to find your way, eventually. Her gaze didn't linger. She moved past Torin as she had simply appeared where she was. A sentence. I gotta work on that sentence, my goodness. Her gaze didn't linger. She moved past Torin as she had simply appeared where she was supposed to be all along. Okay, hold on, I see the word missing. There we go. Chase really be writing half-assed sometimes, my god. Alright, redo. Her gaze didn't linger. She moved past Torin as if she had simply appeared where she was supposed to be all along. Nothing to note, nothing to praise. Though, next time, let's see if you can manage without the scenic tour, shall we? Torin straightened, instinctively folding her hands before her. Her lips parted to offer an apology, but the stewardess was already moving. The Lord and his family will be seated shortly. The table is not set, she said curtly, inspecting the silver platter with a sharp eye. Maid, take the platter to the dining hall. I will be there shortly. Quickly now. Cook, still unbothered, slid the enormous platter toward Torin. Steady hands, the amulet whispered. Balance is more important than speed. The door swung shut behind Nisari as she exited. Though her presence was gone, the weight of her expectations lingered like a perfume in the air. Torin stared down at the large silver platter. It gleamed like a mirror, heavy with meat and garnishes, too exotic for her to name. Her arms trembled, just slightly under the weight of the dish. She adjusted her grip, straightened her back, and moved. The corridor stretched ahead, long and empty, lit by the cold wall sconces spaced like silent sentries. The weight of the platter pulled at her arms with each step, but she did not stumble. The dining hall doors loomed at the dark end, taller than they had any right to be. Carved from dark wood, etched with curling thorns and rose motifs. The handles gleamed like polished ivory. She pushed them open with her elbow, heavy and firm against her. The room was a cathedral of gold, extravagant and elegant. A long obsidian table stretched like a black river through its center, flanked by high-backed chairs whose spines curled like vines. The ceiling arched high overhead, cradling twin chandeliers. that spilled candlelight like soft pools. Velvet curtains framed the windows, parted just enough to reveal the sky beyond. There, far below, the city of Valesport sprawled like a withering map. Sloped rooftops and winding alleys steeped in shadow. Above it, thunderclouds had begun to gather, slow and silent. Lightning flickered in the distance. No sound yet, but it was coming. Nasari stood at the far end of the table, posture perfect, fingers laced in front of her like she was already halfway through judging everything. Finally, she said, glancing at the platter, "Do try not to dawdle next time." Thorin blinked, giving a quick, obedient nod in her direction. Nasari gestured to a specific space at the head of the table. "There, and do center it. Let me redo the line. There, and do center it. You may be used to slop and scrap, but this house has standards."
What a bitch, dude. She's rude. She is rude for no reason.
Thorin set the platter down, carefully, deliberately. The weight lifted from her arms, but the tension held in her shoulders still. "Wipe your hands, tuck the apron flat," Nasari continued. Voice low but constant. "Stand 4 paces back from the table, not 3, not 5. Do not move, do not speak unless addressed." She stepped past Thorin and smoothed the wrinkle that wasn't there. "Keep your eyes low," she added, not even looking at her. "You are here to serve, not to be noticed." Then, footsteps. Measured. Echoing. Nasari straightened, her chin high. Shoulders back. She turned toward the tall entry doors and lifted her voice, not loudly, but with crystal clarity. "Presenting the Lord of the House, Lord Valeth Stormbane." The door slid open as he entered. Tall, composed, wrapped in wine-dark embroidered... Let me redo that. Gotta get this right. This is the main dude. The doors slid open as he entered. Tall, composed, wrapped in a wine-dark robe embroidered with fine silver thread. His golden skin shimmered. Oh, hold on, there we go. My screen just decided to turn off suddenly. Don't like that. All right. I mean, not my screen, my scroll. My scroll turned off suddenly. Yeah, there we go. His golden skin shimmered faintly beneath the chandelier light. His eyes, cold, clever, silver gray, swept the room with indifference. He marched in and took a seat at the head of the table. Just behind him, a smaller echo followed. A boy, no older than 12, walked with careful steps, each one mimicking his father's. His golden hair was slicked back severely, his tunic tailored and pristine. Eyes the same silver gray, sharp, curious, and far too still for a boy of his age. Presenting, second son of the house, young Master Vaelson Stormbane. He didn't bow. He didn't acknowledge the room. Just slipped into his seat beside his father, too quiet, too smooth for a child. As he settled, his eyes swept briefly across her. Not long, not lingering. But something about the look, too composed, too aware, made her spine tighten. Thorin drew a slow breath, centering herself as the next name was being called out. Presenting the lady of the house, Lady Kiralyn Stormbane. She followed in silence. Pale blue silks trailed behind her, her expression carved from marble, not unkind, not warm, just distant. Her gaze never touched Torin as she sat beside her husband. Nasari took a quick breath before continuing. Presenting, daughter of the house, Lady Kiraleth Stormbane. Torin turned slightly, just enough to see, and froze. Red gold hair, now longer, richer, an emerald gown, shoulders squared in practiced posture, movements trained, elegant, deliberate. But her eyes, Torin knew those eyes. A jolt surged through her chest, sudden, sharp, impossible. She hadn't thought of that name in years, but she had truly never forgotten it. Not the creak, not the laughter, not the promise, and not the ache that came long after it was gone. She buried it, maybe, under duty and silence, under years of keeping her family afloat when everything else was crumbling. She'd stopped looking, stopped hoping, but there she was. Torin stared for a second too long, just a second. I realized something that I just hadn't said yet. Here we go. Perfect. I don't know where that disappeared to. Alright, so let me redo this last part again. I realized I messed something up. Time warp. Right, time warp. Here we go. Time warp, we're good now. Then you didn't see that. How's Chase doing? Oh, yeah. Let me check on Chase real quick while I sort this out. Give me a second. Chase, how you doing, buddy? Here we go.
Alright, this song really means a lot to me, so here goes.
Oh, fuck you! We don't want to hear your song? What the fuck? What a nerd, dude! He was trying to play songs. He was like, oh, this song means a lot to me. Nah, we don't want to hear that. Get out of here. Right, now then, back to what we were doing. Let me redo this part again, because I realized something was off. Cringe, dude, yeah, I'm saying. That's what he's known for. Alright, so we've introduced now Lord Valeth Stormbane. Right? Lord Valeth Stormbane, head of the house. Then we've got his son, his little shadow, Vaelson Stormbane, the second son of the house. Then came the mother, Kiralyn Stormbane. She was very, distant. She didn't really care about anything. And then finally, we'll get to this part again. Let me redo this again, because I realized something that was, for whatever reason, taken out of the story. I put it back in. We're good now. I rewrote the scroll. All right, now then. Presenting, daughter of the house, Lady Kiraleth Stormbane. Torin turned slightly, just enough to see, then froze. Red gold hair, now longer, richer, an emerald gown, shoulders squared in practiced posture, movements trained, elegant and deliberate. But her eyes, Torin knew those eyes. Kira. Which, for you who haven't been following along since the first chapter, her childhood friend who suddenly disappeared out of nowhere was named Kira. Oh, she's found her friend from her childhood suddenly. Turns out her friend from childhood that she didn't know anything about was a noble of the house that oversaw everything. Oh, there you go, big reveal. A jolt surged through her chest, sudden, sharp, impossible. She hadn't thought about that name in years, but she had never truly forgotten it. Not the creak, not the laughter, not the promise, not the ache that came long after it was gone. She buried it, maybe under duty, under silence, under years of keeping her family afloat, when everything else was crumbling. She'd stopped looking, stopped hoping, but there she was. Torin stared for a second too long. just a second, Kira's gaze passed over the room and caught on her. A flicker of confusion, brief, like wind catching a candle. Not recognition, no, but something close. A hesitation. Torin dropped her eyes quickly, perfectly, like nothing had happened. Her hands remained folded, her back straight, her expression blank. But inside, everything had shifted. It was her. It was Kira. Outside, the thunder rolled across the shadowed city. But inside, the storm had just walked through the door and taken its seat. And that, my friends, concludes Chapter 4 of Ascension, the chapter titled The House That Owns Me. Pretty wild chapter, no? Thank you, Hayes. Thank you. So to quickly recap, she saw the manor as this kind of imposing figure. She met Nasari, the stewardess of the house, who's a real bitch. And then she was inspected. Then she did a bunch of work, scrubbing floors. Then she went to the kitchen, without any instruction, mind you. She went to the kitchen, and then she met the Mandibre, who's basically, if I didn't do a good enough job explaining it, it's basically like a bug person. And anyway, she met Cook, the Mandibre, and then she took the food in. We introduced the Lord. We introduced the son, Valson. We introduced Lady Stormbane. And then we've introduced now that Kira, her childhood friend, is actually Lady Kirileth, daughter of Lord Stormbane. So that is how we end the chapter. Thank you very much for joining me this week. It was a great time. And next week's chapter, I like to give you guys a little hint of stuff. Next week's chapter is called The Gift of Submission. And so, that is where we will end it for today. With that, I thank you all for joining me. It was a very good time. And I look forward to getting to next week's. I will say, next week's is actually probably not going to be on Wednesday. I'm not sure when it will be. We're doing something else on Wednesday, so I will not be here. Perhaps we'll do it on Friday. Instead, Wizard Wednesday on a Friday. Perhaps that's what we'll do. But, yes, it was a good time. I hope you enjoyed the story, everyone. I hope you're liking how it's progressing. I'm trying not to rush it. I'm trying to tell it carefully. And, yeah, it's a good time. All right, real quick, let me go grab Chase real quick. Before I leave, thank you, everyone. I will be back, probably next Friday, I'm guessing. But we'll see. And, let me go ahead and leave real quick, and I'll bring back the cringe dude. Hold on, one second. Let me go. Let's go to the void real quick. Hold on. Let's go to the void. You go to the void. You go to the void for a second while we bring back. Wait, hold on. Hey, where are you, asshole? Get over here.
Dude, relax.
Oh, you relax. I've just carried your fucking stream. You know, you're telling the story about this slave girl, and it's kind of weird sometimes because you're like, you know, oppressing her and shit, and you know this.
Yeah, but like, it's to tell a bigger story, guy. Like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of weird sometimes and all this stuff. But anyway, I like the story, and I'll be back. You know, same time next week.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, same time. Well, no, not same time because we're gonna be doing something else. But you know, we'll get around to it soon.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, I'm out of here. See you, notes.
All right, later, dude. Hey, can you get me out of the screen real quick though? That'd be appreciated.
Oh yes. Hold on. 1 second.
All right. Hey, I'm in the void. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Not me still wearing glasses. I don't know where those got from. He put his glasses on me before he left, dude. Whew. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me and listening to the story. If you listen the whole time, I appreciate it very much. I hope people are interested in this. story. I really enjoy this character and this work. So it's been a lot of fun writing. I keep having to change stuff and stuff. So, but you know, it's a work in progress, as they say. But again, I appreciate you guys chilling with me for a little bit. Let me go back here with that. We'll put me right here instead. But yeah, dude. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me, listening to me. Listening to Testiculus tell a story. It means the world to me for real. And yeah, we'll be back with chapter 5, The Gift of Submission, either Monday or Friday. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I might do Friday just to give me a little bit more time to kind of hammer some stuff out, because I've got some things I need to change in chapter 5. But yeah, dude. I've been having a good time with it. So hopefully, are you guys following along with it? I hope you're able to actually follow along with it if you're actually here to listen. Hopefully it's actually making sense. That's the goal. And to, you know, tell a story of struggle and how it empowers, how it can empower, I should say. But, yeah, dude. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so very much. It is going to be a bit of a shorter stream. We're about to... Fuck it, let's just yap until 2 hours, dude. I rewatch VODs so I can watch properly. Nice, dude. Let's go. Yeah, I got you, boy. I got you. Well, I appreciate you watching the VODs. Is it making sense to you, boy? I hope it's making sense. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. And I know it's a whole new world that, like, I'm throwing together suddenly. So... I'm trying my best to make it. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, dude. Well, the next chapter gets pretty... Well, no, the next chapter is not too bad. But, it's going to keep getting, like, worse stuff happening. So that's why I have that trigger warning, that exclamation point TW, trigger warning message. So when scenes are going to come up that I know are going to be kind of tough to listen to, I can put that in chat real quick. Hey, what's up, Reki? Welcome in. Oh, I should also update the Chucky chart for all y'all who did it earlier and I didn't mark it. Hayes. We got Hayes. Yes, yes, yes. Boy, I'm not behind on writing. I'm on chapter 7. I'm pretty far ahead. But I'm not doing it next Wednesday because of the thing that we're going to be doing instead. But no, I'm actually, he left, dude. He had to go. Mr. T left. But, yeah, what's happening Wednesday? Well, it hasn't been announced yet, so, don't worry about it. Lionel knows what it is. And if he says he doesn't, then he's just not remembering. And refer to the Council of Boys. Because that's what's happening next Wednesday. But yeah. Rec, it hasn't been announced yet. I can't tell you. I'm not doing Wizard Wednesday. I'm taking Wizard Wednesday. It's going to probably Friday of next week. It'll be Wizard Wednesday on a Friday. That's probably what we're gonna do. And then you're sacrificing me? I want to be a knower? Bro, you're not part of the Council of Boys. I'm sorry. If you were part of the Council of Boys, you would know. But unfortunately, I don't know. It'll be announced probably later today. Later today or at the latest tomorrow. We'll see. It's just a change that we're doing. But anyway, yeah, dudes. Again, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and letting me read my stories to you. Whether you're here lurking, whether you're here actually engaged, whether you like it, whether you hate it. I appreciate you all the same. And let me update that. I'm still updating people's Chookies. I wasn't updating it during. Did you miss it, Noni? Bruh. Ain't no way you missed it, Noni. Are you ending stream? I will be in a little... Start over? All right, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. All right, ready? I'm gonna speed read this. Are you ready? I'm gonna pick little sections out, and I'm just gonna read sections of it for you. It'll be done in under 10 minutes. Noni, thank you for the daily Chucky. I've updated Reckies. I've updated Dooms. Boy, I need to update yours. 44. Bria, I need to update yours to 48. Stream do-over. I think you mispronounced some words. Take 2. I mean, I could do it again. Here's the thing. I'm cool with doing it again. I love this story. I truly, like... Lexi told me something today, because I was telling her about how sometimes I feel kind of unmotivated to stream stuff, or sometimes I feel like I'm kind of like playing stuff that I don't really want to play necessarily, but I'm just like, people will think it's fun, right? And so, this is like my real moment, by the way. Sorry. Real moment, timeout. But she was like, it's because you're a creative. You're an artist. And if you're doing something for other people, it feels like pandering. But if you do it for yourself, it's selfish. And I was like, damn. Fuck. Right. Shit. So, but that's why I look forward to these Wizard Wednesday streams. I look forward to these so much because I write the chapters during the week, and then I refine them, and then I look forward to doing them for you guys when when I get to, on Wednesdays. I know, Rec. I know, dude. But yeah, it's a good time, and I have a fun time with it. So, Noni, let me read a couple of sentences. Oh, dude. You guys want a little I'll give you the recap of what you missed, okay? I'll give you a recap, Noni. How about that? And anyone else who wasn't here, I'll give you the quick recap of what was said. And if you want to go back and watch it with Testiculus and his whole flamboyancy, you can watch the VOD for that. But I'll give you a quick little recap of what happened. So, if you recall, Chapter 1, we established Torn as a young girl character. She's a slave. She doesn't understand the world she's in. And she meets this really kind girl who is a highbright elf, a golden-skinned elf, whereas Torin herself is a dark-skinned amethyst, like a dark purplish-skinned elf called a Necroni elf or a shadow elf. They're servants, basically. So that's Chapter 1. She meets the friend. She thinks this is a great time. Her mother, at the end of Chapter 1, says, no, you can't be friends with her. They're the ruling class. Like, hey, it's not cool. You can't fuck with them, right? That's the end of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 establishes her again as a young girl, and she's like wanting to go hang out with her friend Kira again. And she's like, I want to see Kira, but my mom said I shouldn't. And she's like, well, I'm just going to go do my chores outside, right? Little kid excuses. So then Kira and her, they meet up, and then this becomes like a habit for a long time. For months and months and months, they meet up the same time every week, same day, same place. They meet up once a week, every week. Until one day, Kira stops showing up. No rhyme or reason, she just disappears. And then that's when Torin really starts to lose hope. She has this little friendship bracelet that they made together, made of grass. It snaps apart, it's all brittle. And then the exact line, hold on. I'll go back and read the exact line for you, because I do... I'm kind of... You know how Kanye West loves himself so much? I'm kind of like that with certain lines that I write. I'm kind of like that with myself a little bit with writing. Not gonna lie. Let's see. Yeah. So this is a scene. So Kira and her, when they were, hanging out all the time, they made these bracelets out of grass, like friendship bracelets, essentially. And then Kira had to hide hers away because she didn't want her mom finding it. So she hid it away, and she goes back to look at it. And so this is the little scene right here. And it says, one evening, this is in Chapter 2, but one evening after another quiet trip home, Torin crouched beside the loose stone in the hut's foundation. Her fingers dug through the dirt with a growing urgency. until they brushed something dry, something delicate. The woven grass bracelet, the one Kira had tied around her wrist. She pulled it free, her breath catching in her chest. The once vibrant green braid had faded to a brown brittle, its strands shrunken and warped by time. She stared at it for a long while, her thumb gently brushing against its frayed edges. "You said forever," Thorn whispered, echoing a hollow promise Kira had made. Then, carefully, desperately, she tried to slide it back onto her wrist. But the moment it bent, it snapped. The braid crumbled in her hands, falling in pieces like dust between her trembling fingers. Thorn sat back on her heels, stunned. She didn't cry. She didn't call out. She just sat there, listening to the quiet, dirt staining her knees, the brittle remains of the bracelet scattered across her palms. She closed her hands slowly, curling her fingers around what little remained. Then she stood, brushing earth from her legs and bits of broken grass from her skin, her shoulders drawn back, bracing as if bracing against the weight she refused to show. "Maybe this is what Mom meant," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "about being careful, about living in their world." She placed the loose stone back over the hole, now hollow once again. The brittle pieces of the bracelet fluttered away in the small gust of wind. From then on, the creek was just a place to fetch water. She stopped checking the fort, stopped looking for Kira in the trees and bushes, stopped listening for her laughter carried on the wind. She buried that hope like the bracelet, once soft, now brittle and forgotten. And each time the rain returned, and the familiar scent of petrichor hung in the air, she remembered what it used to mean, and felt only a hollow ache, the kind that lingers quietly, then vanishes without a goodbye. But yeah, dude, I love that. Like, that's her childhood dying, and it's just like, dude. So, Noni, real quick recap for you as well. If you recall, in chapter 3, it time skipped about 10 years. And she is, she's in her, like, early 20s or so. And she's basically the head of her house at this point. Her mother is really old. Her father is really old. Their healths are both kind of declining. And her mother comes to her and goes, "Hey, the manor summoned you. They're looking for a new servant, a live-in servant." And she's like, "Bruh, well, like, you're the servant. I don't know. Like, you're the maid." And they're like, "Yeah, but they want you. They need you. And besides, it'll be good. It'll be fine. Like, it'll be a better life for you. If this is all this world ever gives you, you should take it. You'll have a bed. You'll have food. You won't have leaks in your roof. You won't be starving all the time, right?" And so she just kind of very quietly accepts it. This is kind of Torn's character at this point. Is she's very silent. She's very... she uses silence as a shield, basically. She doesn't try to fight back against it. She just accepts the circumstances. There's even a line that I wrote about... Yeah, right here in chapter 3. She didn't argue. Didn't scream. She didn't beg her mother to reconsider. She knew she was right. Her people never had choices, only circumstances. So that's kind of like the vibe that I was going into with Torn, kind of in these coming chapters, is she's going to use like silence as kind of a shield to keep herself safe, as like a survival tactic. So anyway, she gets her mother's ribbon. She ties her hair, her braid. She ties a ribbon into her hair. She takes her mother's ribbon, all that sort of good stuff. Yeah. So then she leaves. There's not some teary goodbye. It's just a very quiet, like, be good. And that's it. And that's where chapter 3 ends. Chapter 4, The House That Owns Me, starts with her walking through the city, reminiscing a little bit. And then she walks to the main market. And then she sees, because if you recall, the way that the city, it's like a big cliff that juts out over the harbor. And on top of that cliff is the manor of Stormbane's manor. And it overlooks the harbor and then the city down below it. So she kind of describes the manor as how like pristine and perfect it is. So I'll just read this little section for you, Noni, just so you kind of have a quick reminder of it. The road curved again, and with it, it began to steadily climb, not just upward, but along the spine of the cliff itself. Cobblestones, perfectly placed, sculpted and clean, set in precise lines by hands that likely never walked them. There were no cracks here, no moss, no irregularities, just dry, even stone, ascending like a polished serpent cutting through the earth. The path didn't feel walked. It felt arranged, for show, too clean, too deliberate. The houses that lined the ascent grew taller, straighter, rigid in their posture, their whitewashed walls trimmed in gold. Vines grew where they were told to. The air smelled of citrus oil and clipped grasses. Every bush was manicured, every flower symmetrical. And still, the manor watched her approach. You could see it from anywhere in Valesport, from the furthest alley of the Necroni Quarter to the deepest edges of the harbor. Its pale towers pierced the horizon like judgment-given form. Not just a house, but a monument, a sentinel, a reminder. Now, it was no longer just a far-off silhouette. It was a wall, a presence, immense and inescapable. After a long climb, she reached the crest of the path, and there it stood in full. Stormbane Manor. She'd seen it her whole life, from the alleys of her quarter, through the cracks in the walls, even in the reflections caught in puddles after a downpour. It was always there, watching from its perch above the city, like a judgment no one would ever speak aloud. But up close, it was different, more than imposing, more than enormous. It swallowed the horizon. Its spires felt taller, sharper. Its windows, once gleaming orbs in the distance, now stared back like stained glass eyes. There was no softness in its marble, only cold, clean perfection, made to dazzle. Beauty weaponized. It didn't feel like something built. It felt placed, like the gods had dropped it from the heavens, fully formed, untouched by time or weather. A monument. So yeah, that's basically describing Stormbane Manor. So she walks up to it, sees this whole kind of imposing presence in front of her. I liked it too because it kind of like, this is me getting kind of artsy and creative with it, but I felt like it kind of made the manor its own character in a way. It gave a lot of like qualities to this manor that she never noticed when she was far away, but now that she's getting closer to it, she like sees it, and it's beautiful and it's horrifying. Like that's actually the next line is like, it was beautiful, painfully so. There's even a line saying that this was more than a home. It was a display. It was power, wearing the mask of a home. But, and then she thinks for a second, like, oh, you know, the beds here are going to be, you know, amazing. They're going to be great. Like, she has kind of this moment of, like, maybe mom was right. Like, maybe everything will be better here. You know, maybe. And then she walks up to the gate, and there's these two guards standing there. And before she can even say anything to them, the guard... Well, I'll just do the interaction. Just before she reached the entrance, one of the guards with the spear shifted. His eyes flicked over to her. Not in threat, just in observation, like checking off a list. "Griselda's girl," he muttered. "You've got her eyes." Torn opened her mouth to speak. He didn't wait for her to reply, though. With a sharp rap of his spear's butt against the golden bars, the gate opened with a groan. "Western wing," he said, nodding to his right. "Find the stewardess Meyerblum. Find the stewardess Meyerblum. She'll tell you where to go from there." So, anyway, the guards come in. Don't even give her a chance to speak. They're just like, "Hey, what's up? You're here. Oh, I know who you are. Cool, cool." In you go. Go find the stewardess. So she goes, and here's her interaction with the stewardess. Noni, if you like cold-hearted, bitchy characters, I think you'll enjoy Stewardess Meyerblum. Nisari Meyerblum is her name. So, I'll just do this little part. So, then she saw her, standing just beyond the covered archway. A woman waited with folded arms and posture poised like she'd been carved from stillness. Her frame was lean and long-limbed, her skin the shade of weathered bronze, braided hair coiled like roots at the crown of her head, threaded with thin copper wire. Not a Kenny, wild-born, Isentari. Another servant, but different, elevated. Now, real quick for everyone who needs a quick lore check, the way that there's like 8 or 9 different races in this world, but I really mainly focus on 3 in this specific area. The 3 races of elves, being that there's the Akeni, which are commonly called highbright elves. They're like the leaders. They're the magical wielding, real smug assholes of the world, right? They're the enterprising capitalists of the world. Underneath them, they're still servants. They're still slaves, but is the wildborn elves, the Isentari. They have like a keen sense of like nature, things like that. Then underneath them is the Necrani, the shadow elves. And they're kind of seen as like the lowest of the low. And Torin is a Necrani. This servant woman, the stewardess, is an Isentar, so a wild. So anyway, let me get back to it. So not a Kenny, wildborn, Isentari. Another servant, but different, elevated. Torin slowed without meaning to. She'd seen Isentari before, not often, and always at a distance, usually hauling game through the market under their master's sharp eyes. But never this close, never one like this. There was something unnerving about her stillness. Not cold, exactly, just watchful, measured. Like she didn't waste movements unless it served a purpose. Her uniform was immaculate, gray linen pressed to sharp angles, her belt gleaming faintly at the buckle. Not a wrinkle, not a thread out of place. She didn't smile, didn't speak. Her eyes, dark green and distant, drifted over to Torn, tracing from ribbon to boots, before settling briefly on the iron bands that wrapped her wrists. "You're late," she said, at last. Her voice was quiet, flat, not harsh, but polished, like something well rehearsed. The sun had barely crested over the rooftops. Bruh, she's like, "You're late. Brother, it is dawn." "You're late." "It's dawn, bitch. The fuck?" Anyway, alright, let me get back to it. Torn opened her mouth, unsure what to say. But the sun's barely up," she offered, surprised by her own voice. The woman turned, slowly, her gaze locked to Torin like a hook. She hummed, as if she had tasted something sour. "I'd heard your kind were better trained." Torin stiffened. The woman's eyes swept her again, this time not as observation, but appraisal. "A shame," she said, adjusting the non-existent wrinkle in her uniform. "I'd hoped Griselda passed more than her grim looks onto you. But I suppose one does what one can with what one has." No way, dude. I'm saying she's brutal. Torn said nothing. "I am Stewardess Nisari Meyerblum," the woman continued, crisp as cut grass, "and you'll address me as such. Not ma'am, not miss. And certainly never with excuses." She let the silence breathe for a moment, her gaze unwavering. "I oversee every servant within these walls. It is my job to ensure the house runs without flaw, and that none of you become the flaw." A pause. Her voice never rose, but each word landed with a weight. "If you falter, I will know. If you embarrass yourself, or worse, me, gods, you will only wish it had been the Lord who had noticed." She turned on her heel, graceful and silent. "Now, follow me," she said over her shoulder. "Let's not begin your new station with a correction already." So, that's Nisari, Stewardess Nisari Meyerblum, Noni. She's a real see you next Tuesday. she's not very nice. And, yeah, dude. There's basically a scene where she shows her to her room, and then she makes Torin strip completely, into the trigger warning for everyone, strips her down to nothing, and then inspects her, basically like livestock. She's not ogling her or anything. But it's very like, it's like a dehumanizing moment, basically. And she goes in and she basically says, your clothes, I'll just do part of the scene. I won't do the full scene, but tells her to disrobe, right? And then she goes, your clothes, I'm sorry, I said flatly. They stink of salt and mud. Strip them off so I may have them burned. Torin didn't move. Not immediately. She wasn't sure she had heard her right. The stewardess stepped inside at last, letting the door shut behind her with a soft click. This is not your filthy quarter anymore, she said. You'll not drag rotten rags into the Lord's house. Remove them. Torin's breath pressed against her ribs. Her fingers hovered near the knot of her apron, her mother's apron. She undid it slowly, then stepped out of it, the faded seams sagging in her hands. Her linens followed next, then her undergarments, until she stood in the center of the room, skin bare, the chill of the marble floor slowly creeping into her bones. She folded her arms tightly over her chest, not out of modesty, but instinct, a shield of limbs where clothes used to armor her. Nazari stepped forward. She didn't leer, didn't ogle. Her expression remained impassive, stoic. She circled once, slow and thoughtful, like someone examining livestock before a sale. She made a small sound in the back of her throat, judgmental but restrained. Thin, she mumbled, but not frail. Hands are worn, fingers calloused. That will help. He reached out and tilted Torin's chin with a single knuckle, looked into her eyes like they were made of glass. You'll do, she said at last, stepping back. Barely. She reached down and plucked the apron from the pile of clothing. She held it between her two fingers as if it offended her senses. And this, she said, lifting the apron, it reeks. I'll see that it's burned. Torin lifted her chin, her mouth parting slightly. That was my mother's. Asari didn't even glance back at her as she made her way toward the door again. And you are not your mother's anymore. You belong to this house. Roll credits, dude. That's the fucking title of the chapter, The House That Owns Me. Roll credits. But yeah, so that's the scene that I put the trigger warning in for. It's not too terrible overall, I don't think, but it's still like very dehumanizing, so I wanted to be respectful of it. But yeah, so there's that scene. And then she basically tells her, hey, guess what? You're going to be scrubbing floors for the next 8 hours. Until the, it's sad that she's supposed to accept that this is her life and she was born to do it. Yeah. I mean, it's just like the, kind of the symbolism of her, I look so washed out because you turned that off. Okay, that looks better. Thank you. It's kind of the symbolism of her wearing her mother's apron and using her mother's hair ribbon. It's kind of, I wanted it to be like a symbolism of inherited generational trauma is kind of what I was wanting. And that scene, if you recall, in chapter 3, there's a scene where she's looking in a cracked mirror and she sees her mother's reflection in it and kind of wonders, am I already halfway to being her? So it's kind of this like generational trauma that follows. Now, thankfully, we know how her story ends in the fact that she ascends to godhood at the very end of it. She becomes the goddess of death at the very end of her story. And so she kind of breaks the cycle, which is cool. But she has to go through a lot to get there. And so this is, like I said, it's called Ascension because it's the story of how she becomes the goddess and breaks the chains and all that. So anyway, she scrubs floors for a long time, and then she sees a servant. He doesn't say anything to her. He just keeps walking. There's a whole scene that plays on that. And then finally she hears the dinner bell. So then she finds the kitchens, which, by the way, she has to find the kitchens because she's not told where to even, locate the kitchens at. So she has to just kind of wander until she finds them. And then inside we meet the cook, and his name is Cook. And Cook is Amanda Bray. I'll actually read the portion that introduces him because it's a new race that hasn't been introduced yet. Yeah, but already feel her struggle of not really knowing herself. Yeah, that's kind of her whole thing. She uses silence. She doesn't fully know herself. She lost her only friend. All this sort of stuff. So let me go to the scene with Cook. I'll just do the whole kitchen scene for you. So she pushed the doors inward with both palms. It swung wide with a long, low creak, revealing a space that felt more like a forge than a kitchen. Copper pipes snaked around the ceiling like veins, hissing steam into the air. Steel counters gleamed beneath hanging lanterns, each one casting golden pools of light onto a spotless floor. Iron kettles bubbled on blackened stoves. Oops, hold on. Sorry, I didn't realize something. I have to change something real quick. Black. There we go. Okay, let me get back to it. Iron kettles bubbled on blackened stoves. Fire flickered under the cast iron grates. The heat clung to her skin like a second layer. And in the center of it all, moving with fluid precision of something born into the rhythm of this place, was a being unlike any she had ever seen. Its chitinous skin glinted in the dim light, shifting between hues of indigo and rust. A lean, many-limbed frame moved with an unspoken grace, 4 arms working in tandem to chop, stir, and plate. Its legs stepped with an eerie delicacy, carrying its angular body with silent elegance. A long crest swept back from its head, a crown of hardened silk. Its face was partially masked in shell, with 2 large eyes, deep, compound, reflective, turned toward her. So, if you can't picture this, Amanda Bray is like an insect person. They're like insect people. They have like chitinous skin, like a beetle, or like an exoskeleton, right? I made a picture of one not too long ago. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a sec. I'll see if I can show you. I didn't even show people earlier. I forgot to make a bunch of stuff. I know I sent it to my wife. Let me see if I can. Or no, I sent it to Leonel. Yeah. All right, let me show you guys the ever lovely Cook named Cook. God damn it. Nope. God damn it. There we go. All right. Yeah, he's Amanda Bray. He's not a person. And I explain why his name is Cook in a second. I'll probably just read the rest of this from here on out because this is kind of where it gets really juicy with like things get revealed. So I'll probably just recap from here to the very end if y'all are cool with that or ending. But let me show you. This is Cook. Okay? Keep that in your mind. This is Cook. Here you go. There's Cook. I'm gonna, oh, hold on. Let me make this a little smaller. Here we go. There we go. We'll keep Cook over here in the corner. All right, there we go. We'll keep him in the corner right there. Cook, you hang out there. Perfect, dude. Hear me out, Wild May. Insane. Okay. So let me reread the description of him, and then I'll just continue the story from here. Oh shit, I can't have him hanging out because I read from here. So okay. Anyway, imagine that I have it all written out on my thing, so I gotta read from here. Or maybe I could do it. Hold on. Let me see. Put this over here, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I can show him. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me... Okay. Here. Let me bring Cook back up on this page. Then... Boom, we got Cook. All right, we're good. All right, so imagine Cook while I'm talking. Okay. I'm going to read from right here. I'm going to be looking slightly over here now rather than right here, but its chitinous skin glinted in the dim light, shifting between hues of indigo and rust. A lean, many-limbed frame moved with unbroken grace, 4 arms working in tandem to chop, stir, and plate. Its legs stepped with an eerie delicacy, carrying its angular body with silent elegance. A long crest swept back from its head, like a crown of hardened silk. Its face was partially masked in shell, but 2 large eyes, deep, compound, reflective, turned toward her. Torin froze. The breath left her all at once. What in the gods' names? The creature tilted its head, not sharply, but gently, like it meant to reassure. You are on time. The words didn't come from it directly. I just skipped a line. Give me a sec. Apologies. From reading from this angle, it's making me skip lines. Torn froze. The creature tilted its head, not sharply. Got that. Then, without opening its mouth, a voice spoke, soft and clear, as if it had always been there. You are on time. The words didn't come from it directly. They drifted from the amulet nestled at its collarbone, an orb of obsidian threaded with gold, pulsing faintly with each syllable. Its voice was smooth, layered, and calm. Do not be afraid. I will not bite. That would be highly unprofessional. Horn's jaw parted slightly, but no sound came out. She couldn't move. Her heart thundered against her ribs. I am called Cook, the amulet offered, its voice neutral. My given name is not one your tongue can speak. I am told this name is more fitting. And there you go, May. That is why his name is Cook, is because his actual name is impossible for people to say because he speaks in chitters. Because he's a bug man. So there you go. Now you have the story of why he's called Cook. Oops. Let me move this. Okay. W bug people. Yeah, dude. It plated the roast with delicate precision, garnished it with a sprig of green so fine it might have cost more than her family could afford in their entire lives. He can chitter my bug. That is my wife. I assume you are the new maid. You've likely never seen my kind before. Your people call us Mandibrae. Shout out to the Mandibrae, dude! Shout out to the Mandibrae! Corin blinked, nodded, barely. For a moment, the noise of the kitchen dulled. The steam lowered like a lullaby. The fire cracked with a gentleness. Something strange and fragile hovered there, unexpected, uncertain, almost kind. And then, footsteps, sharp, fast. Nisari entered like a blade through silk. She swept into the room with unshaken authority, her eyes flicking over the counters, the floors, the platter cooling in their arranged order. She barely glanced at the Mandibrae. No pause, no recognition of anything extraordinary. Ah, she said, her tone flat. You did manage to find your way, eventually. What a bitch, dude. Her gaze didn't linger. She didn't move past Torin as if she had simply... Her gaze didn't linger. She moved past Torin as if she had simply appeared where she was supposed to be all along. Nothing to note, nothing to praise. I suppose that's something, she added, under her breath, more to the room than to herself. Though next time, let's see if you can manage without the scenic tour, shall we? Every single time she talks, when I was writing her dialogue, I was like, she just needs to be shitting on Torin Khan. Every single thing she does can never be enough, never be good enough. Torin straightened, instinctively folding her hands before her. Her lips parted to offer an apology, but the stewardess was already moving. The Lord and his family will be seated shortly. The table is not set, she said curtly, inspecting the silver platter with a sharp eye. Maid, take the platter to the dining hall. I will be there shortly. Quickly now. Cook, still unbothered, slid the enormous platter toward Torin. Steady hands, its amulet whispered. Balance is much more important than speed. By the way, if you don't already tell, Cook is the MVP here. He's the only person who's been kind to her. Even her own parents weren't really that nice to her. So Cook is the only one showing a little bit of empathy and sympathy. So W for him. The door swung. It's always the cook, dude. It's always Cook. Let's see. Oh, the doors swung shut behind Nisari as she exited. Though her presence was gone, the weight of her expectations lingered like a perfume. Torin stared down at the silver platter. It gleamed like a mirror, heavy with meat and garnishes too exotic for her to name. She exhaled slowly, then lifted with care. Her arms trembled, just slightly, under the weight of the dish. She adjusted her grip, straightened her back, and moved. The corridor stretched ahead, long and empty, lit by cold wall sconces? I think it's sconces. Let me redo that. Lit by cold wall sconces, spaced like silent centuries. The weight of the platter pulled at her arms with each step, but she did not stumble. The dining hall doors loomed at the dark end, taller than they had any right to be, carved from dark wood etched with curling thorned roses. Sorry, let me redo that line. I fucked that up so bad. Taller than they had any right to be, carved from dark wood etched with curling thorns and rose motifs. There we go. The handles gleamed like polished ivory. She pushed them open with her elbow, heavy and firm against her. The room was a cathedral of gold, extravagant and elegant. A long obsidian table stretched like a black river through its center, flanked by high-backed chairs whose spines curved like vines. The ceilings arched high overhead, cradling twin chandeliers that spilled candlelight in soft pools. Velvet curtains framed the windows, parted just enough to reveal the sky beyond. There, far below, the city of Veilsport sprawled like a withering map. Sloped rooftops, winding alleys steeped in shadow, and above it, thunderclouds had begun to gather, slow and silent. Lightning flickered in the distance. No sound yet, but it was coming. Nisari stood at the far end of the table, posture perfect, fingers laced in front of her like she was already halfway through judging everything. Finally, she said, glancing at the platter, do try not to dawdle next time. Torin blinked, giving a quick obedient nod in her direction. Nisari gestured to a specific space at the head of the table. There, and do it center. You may be used to slop and scraps, but this house has standards. Oh, I'm swinging on her. Swinging on her. She's like, oh, I know you're used to being filthy and disgusting, but we have standards here. Bitch. How dare you? I wrote a character I want to fight. I'm swinging blindly. Real, dude. Let me see. Torin set the platter down. No lie is told, I say. Hey. Listen, we know which side Lexi's on. Crazy. Crazy to go with the side of the oppressors, but hey, do you. Torin said... And the crazy thing, too, is she's a servant also, bro. She's a slave. She's also a servant. Like, she's no better than anyone. But she feels like she is, because of her position. Anyway. Torin set the platter down carefully, deliberately. The weight lifted from her arms, but the tension held in her shoulders still. Wipe your hands. Tuck your apron in. Nisari continued, voice low but constant. Stand 4 paces back from the table. Not 3, not 5. Do not move. Do not speak unless addressed. Thorin stepped back and smoothed the wrinkle that wasn't there. Keep your eyes low, she added, not even looking at her. You are here to serve, not to be noticed. Then, footsteps. Measured. Echoing. Nasari straightened, chin high, shoulders back. She turned toward the tall entry doors and lifted her voice. Not loudly, but with crystal clarity. Ah, here we do. She doesn't say that, by the way, but here's where we enter in the royal noble family. Are you ready? We're going to introduce them. Presenting the Lord of the House, Lord Valith Stormbane. The doors slid open as he entered, tall, composed, wrapped in a wine-dark robe embroidered with fine silver thread. His golden skin shimmered faintly beneath the chandelier light. His eyes, cold, clever, silver gray, swept the room with indifference. He marched in and took a seat at the head of the table. Just behind him, a smaller echo followed. A boy, no older than 12, walked with careful steps, each one mimicking his father's. His golden hair was slicked back severely, his tunic tailored and pristine. Eyes the same silver gray, sharp, curious, and far too still for a boy of his age. Presenting second son of the house, young Master Vaelson. Young Master Vaelson Stormbane. Mommy, I like my suitcase. Yeah, that's what he says. He didn't bow. He didn't acknowledge the room, just slipped into his seat beside his father. Too quiet, too small for a child. As he settled, his eyes swept briefly across her. Not long, not lingering, but something about the look was too composed, too aware. Made her spine tight. Thorin drew a slow breath, centering herself as the next name was being called out. Presenting, Lady of the House, Lady Kirillin Stormbane. She followed in silence. Pale blue silks trailed behind her, her expression carved from marble, not unkind, not warm, just distant. Her gaze never touched Thorin as she sat beside her husband. Nasari took a quick breath before continuing. Presenting, Daughter of the House, Lady Kirilleth Stormbane. Thorin turned slightly, just enough to see, and froze. Red gold hair, now longer and richer. An emerald gown, shoulders squared in practiced posture. Movements trained, elegant, and deliberate. But her eyes? Thorin knew her eyes. It was Kira. So, big reveal, dude. Kira, her long-lost childhood friend, who disappeared suddenly after 10 years, is actually Lady Kirilleth of House Stormbane. She's the daughter of a noble family. So she appears after not being mentioned for a very long time. Dun, dun, dun! Yeah, dude. A jolt surged through her chest. Sudden, sharp, impossible. She hadn't thought of that name in years, but she had never truly forgotten it. Not the creak, not the laughter, not the promise, not the ache that came after it was all gone. She buried it, maybe, under duty, under silence, under years of keeping her family afloat, when everything else was crumbling. She'd stopped looking, stopped hoping, but there she was. Thorin stared for a second too long. Just a second. Kira's gaze passed over the room and caught on her. A flicker of confusion, brief, like a candle. Like wind catching a candle. Not recognition, but something close. Hesitation, maybe. Thorin dropped her eyes quickly, perfectly, like nothing had happened. Her hands remained folded, her back straight, her expression blank. But inside, everything had shifted. It was her. It was Kira. Outside, the thunder rolled across the shadowed city. Inside, the storm had just walked through the door and taken its seat. And that's how chapter 4 ends. The house that owns me. So next week we'll do, next week sometime we'll do chapter 5, which is called The Gift of Submission. And so basically the TLDR, she gets to the thing, she becomes the new maid, she gets dehumanized a lot. She's you're fine, boy. Thanks for hanging out. But she gets dehumanized, all this different stuff. And then she meets the Mandabrae. She meets Cook, the Mandabrae. Huge W for that. My guy here. Guy here, Cook. And then she serves the family. And we've got Lord Valeth, Stormbane. We've got Master, young Master. You're just here for Cook. I'm happy for you. Enjoy it while it lasts. That's all I'm saying. This is a tragedy after all, May. You have to understand that. This story is a tragedy. Until it's not. It's a tragedy until it isn't. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do shit. But anyway. So yeah, we've got the Lord of the House, Lord Valeth Stormbane. We've got the son, which is like his little shadow, which is Valsen is Valsen Stormbane. We've got the mother, Kiralyn, and then we've got the daughter, Kiraleth, which is, nickname shortened is Kira. And so it's Kira. So her childhood friend has come back into the fold. And she's not sure. It's been 10 years since they saw each other. And remember, Kira just vanished with like no trace, right? And so, thank you, Noni. I appreciate that. It's no problem at all. I'm happy to go back. Like I said, I love sharing these stories with you guys, especially if you guys like them. It really makes it a lot of fun for me. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you caught it, Noni, but I'd been kind of in like a rut lately with playing stuff on stream where I'm like, I don't know if I love these types of streams, but unfortunately, the downside is a lot of people don't really show up for them, which is, whatever. But it can get disheartening, And so I was kind of struggling with that, but I was like, I have to do shit that I like to do. So I keep doing this. And so it makes me really happy, basically. I'm trying to say, a roundabout way, I appreciate you and like Rami and Leo and Lexi and May all showing up to hang out with me while I read it out for you and do my little silly wizard voice and all and make my little silly transitions. But yeah, it's a good time. And I know where it's going, dude. If you're not having fun, then people will tell you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. It's a good point, dude. I gotta remember it. It's just, the thing is, like, Lexi said to me recently, she was like, the thing about you, is that you're a, creative. Thank you, dude. I made all the transitions for today. I made all of them in about an hour. That's why I don't have any of these. I was going to do the portal thing like I do, where I go, oh, there's a little portal. And I do this, and then the portal appears, right? By the way, if you didn't catch it, Valesport is named after the Lord. That's just a little fun lore for you. His name is Lord Valeth, and it's called Vale's Port. It's literally his port. Fun fact. But anyway, yeah, I get super hyped about nerdy shit, so I have fun with it, and I have fun doing it. But anyway, oh, hold on. I have a text message from... I don't know what this is. Okay, I'll look at that later. Sorry, my mother-in-law sent me a text message. She never texts me, so confused. But anyway, yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, I'm so lost. Huh? Oh, thank you. Yeah. What Lexi was telling me is basically like the way that I am as a person is I'm a very creative person. So I'm an artist, essentially, right? I write music, I do book, I do all this stuff. And so she was like, for you, what it basically boils down to is if you're doing something for yourself, you feel selfish about it. And then if no one shows up, you feel shitty about it. And then, but if you do it for other people's praise, then it's like you're pandering to them. So it's kind of something I've been trying to think about and do more fun stuff that I want to do. And like you're saying, Noni, like I was super hyped for Oblivion, dude. I was so pumped. I'm probably, honestly, real talk, that's probably going to be like the majority of what I stream going forward is like Oblivion and like single player games and stuff. At least for a while, because that's the type of shit that I really like playing the Walking Dead game. I haven't played that in many years, and I own it, you know? And I still have to finish Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I want to go back and play Mass Effect again, you know? J.K. Rowling sure didn't start having the audience. Well, yeah, I know. I get that. And I'm putting my best foot forward with that. Yeah, basically my solo streams going forward are just going to be whatever silly games I want to play, or whatever like single player games I want to play. That's typically going to be, I think, what they're going to be going forward. But I'll still do like the stuff with the boys and stuff. I'll still do the stuff with the boys probably like once a week maybe. So, and just do our silly little fun things and all that. 'Cause it's always fun to hang out with everyone. And then I have an announcement to make about the community night stuff pretty soon. So we'll have that going. So I'll still do other stuff too. But yeah, I love doing these silly creative stuff. By the way, Noni, you didn't get to see all of the transitions this time, did you? Hold on, let me give you some of the transitions for this today. Ready? All right, hold on. Well, let me put on the testiculous voice again.
All right, here we are. I'm back, bitches. So, you're in the void. Let's start the stream.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Chase. Better known online as Chase Games. Good. I don't think this is my normal stream. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, is it done? All right.
And then it would pop out as me, as Testiculus. I mean, Testiculus would pop out.
I mean, I'd pop out. Shit. Okay. And then here's the next transition. Let's go. Let's see what this nerd's doing. Oh, he's playing music.
All right, this song really means a lot to me, so here goes.
Oh, there we go. All right.
And then the last transition is probably my favorite. I made this about 20 minutes before starting the stream. Here we go.
Oh, I think he needs to check the Chucky chart.
All right, let's check the Chucky chart. Look at all these points everyone's getting. Lots of points. Points. Good.
I don't think he's okay. I'll have to check on him later.
And yeah, that was all I did. I made both of those transitions, like I said, about 30 minutes before going live today. So, you know, I wanted to do more. I had other ideas for stuff, and I think it's going to keep escalating every time. But, yeah, I have a lot of fun doing those, and the streams and stuff, the readings, I love doing those. And, yeah, dude, it's just a good time. Thank you, Noni. Thank you. God, my nose is itchy like crazy right now. But, yeah, so I'll be back next week. I'm probably not going to do... It's probably going to be Wizard Wednesday on a Friday next week. Something's planned for next Wednesday. So I'm going to have to move it. So it's going to be Wizard Wednesday on a Friday. But that's fine. That'll give me more time to write and refine stuff. So, because when I was reading today, dude, I was like, I was like, God damn, I need to go back and proofread this shit before I bring it live, because some of that stuff I gotta do. Oof. I gotta go back and proofread. But yeah, so it'll be on Friday, I think. And yeah, dude. So I think I'm gonna probably hop off here. I'm about 3 hours in, 8 o'clock, a little bit later than I normally run. So I'm gonna get off here, eat some dinner, probably play a little Oblivion, and yeah, that's it. But anyway, I will see y'all later. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out with me and listening to me talk and yap and stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you, Noni. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you, Boy. As in the words of my ancestors, this was all light work, no drink. And we're going to raid out to someone. Let's see who we can raid out to. Let me pull it up here. Raid Hat. He's playing Mario Party. Mario Kart. Angel is playing Baldur's Gate, though. You like Baldur's Gate a lot. That's another game I'm going to be playing again, is Baldur's Gate. Also, dude, hold on, real quick, before I go. I know I said I was going to go, but real quick, before I actually leave now. One last idea that I've been toying with. One last idea. Tell me how y'all would feel about this, because I think it would be fucking sick, dude. I want to write a story after I'm done with Ascension. I want to write a story, and have it be open-ended, kind of, and essentially have the people in chat, do like rolls, like roll dice to interact with the story. I think that would be sick. But yeah. Anyway, I think everyone might be gone, but it's something that I have in the back of my mind currently. So, all right. Anyway, we're gonna raid out to Angel, and we will talk to y'all later. See you, everybody. Appreciate you.